full here on Max 2, and we'll go right there. So
like you said, Gary, though, again, I know a lot of folks out camping and trying to be outdoors right now. It is the middle of June, a lot of folks on summer break. So if you are getting this alert, we have a tornado warning for Monroe, Juneau, and Adams counties. This goes until 5 o'clock. We're looking just north of Wilton. This is the area that we're most concerned about right now. So Camp Douglas, folks in that area definitely need to seek shelter, but this does extend into Juneau and Adams counties.
And Dana, I'm just going to jump in here. We now have an observed tornado near Tomah, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So again, if you are in the Camp Douglas area, you need to seek shelter immediately.
Absolutely.
So Tomah is right here, and this is right where that circulation is. Let's just see if we can go. I'm going to go back here for a second and see if we can look at the wind velocity, because this will give us a little better idea of exactly where that rotation is. And it is right here. So Tomah is right here, right where I-90, 94 come together, and that circulation is right there. An observed tornado now being reported, and the storm moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So let's go back to Dana.
An observed tornado, exactly, Gary. So that means that folks do need to seek shelter immediately. Anything downstream of this, you need to get to that innermost room of your house, away from any exterior walls or windows. This is the area that we're most concerned about. Gary was showing us the difference in velocity just a little bit ago, and that shows us that rotation in the atmosphere. And now we have confirmation of that on the ground. So as we time out this, you're dragging out the cone to see arrival times here. Shennington closer to about 4:17, Cutler by 4:21, Cloverdale as we get closer to about 4:30, and the same thing goes with Nacita at about 4:30. So folks need to seek shelter immediately. This line is moving very, very quickly. We're seeing a few chances of hail also along the main front of this line, but the tight rotation right here, this tornado warning due to that rotation in the middle, and now a confirmed tornado on the ground just outside of Tomah, right along the corridor for I-90 and I-94. So pulling up that hail signature also, you can see hail along with this. Things have been building in very quickly over the last hour. This loop shows just an hour ago the rain completely along the western edge of the state, and now building into Monroe, Juneau, and Adams counties. So that's the extension of this tornado warning. Anyone within Juneau and Adams counties north of Camp Douglas right now in this area just outside of Tomah does need to seek shelter immediately.
And Dana, we're getting, we have a DOT camera that we can call up here. This is what? This is I-90, 94, and I can't see, County Road PPP, is that? And this is where?
I-90, I-94.
Yeah,
near Tomah.
Near Tomah. So, okay, so this is looking, I can't tell the direction there, toward west.
I think it was looking west. Yeah, I think we lost the signal there.
Yeah, so that's something that we're watching. Again, this is a very dangerous situation. Again, tornado warning. You almost see the hook echo now starting to form in the area right around Tomah. So again, that does include northern portions of Juneau and Adams counties. Tornado warning, and that is in effect, I believe, until or till 5 p.m. So from an observed tornado.
Those signatures are there, Gary, and we have confirmation on the ground. So you can see even since we've been on the air about the last 5-6 minutes, the shift here, and now we're a little closer to Camp Douglas, just west of Camp Douglas. There it is, a really clear sign when we see that difference. Frankly, just in the color, that gives us a really clear picture as we zoom in a little closer. Thank you, Gary. Just outside of Tomah, just outside of Oakdale right now, right along the interstate. If we can keep an eye on that traffic camera, guys in the booth, to see if we can get any better picture there. But that is what we're most concerned about right now. Anyone within the Oakdale area looking up towards Highway 21 near Cutler and areas northeast needs to seek shelter immediately, because this is a confirmed tornado on the ground.
Yeah, and look at that gate-to-gate shear. That's an indication of very strong rotation near the ground. And this is relatively close to the La Crosse Doppler radar. You can see the radar beam coming through. So we're only about maybe 20 miles away from the radar beam. So we're looking at roughly about 1,500 feet to 2,000 feet off the ground. So the DOT cameras in the area seem to be going down there. So I don't know, it could be power failures as well. But we, again, that one view that we saw showed the lowering of the cloud base. And so that looked very suspicious. But again, we're looking at a very strong circulation now. Again, just to the south of Tomah, just to the west of Oakdale. And that'll be tracking into the far western portions of Juneau County over about the next 5 to 10 minutes. So again, if you're in Cutler, if you're around Camp Douglas, seek shelter shelter immediately.
And that, as you mentioned, Gary, that gate-to-gate shear really ramping up. Just 5 minutes ago, that was a 7 and a 13, and now we're looking at a 6 and 1/10. So just ramping up even as we've been keeping a close eye on it. West of Camp Douglas right now, it looks like we're going right over the interstate. We've also seen some hail along with us. This is the shear track right now. So this gives us a good indication where the path of that rotation has been, the center of that rotation has been, traveling just south of I-90.
And you can see just how it's kind of ramped up.
And how it's straightened.
Yeah,
so it almost comes out like a cone there as it moves closer to I-90. Gary now pulling up the hail track for us as well. So really, before we hit that growth period, we were seeing that hail signature through Monroe County, and then things really ramped up and expanded for us right now. So south of I-90, this is what we're really concerned about, just outside of Tomah towards Camp Douglas. I do want to take a very quick, broader picture because our entire area is under a tornado watch this evening. So even if you're not inside of Monroe County, Juneau, or Adams County, so you do need to have a way to make sure that you can receive alerts through the rest of this evening. Fast forwarding through the next 3 hours, our future track just continues to drag this line throughout southern Wisconsin. Right now, again, over Monroe, Juneau, and Adams, but as we get closer to about 6, 7 o'clock, right over downtown Madison, and then continuing into the eastern portion of Dane County, Jefferson County, Rock County, along with
Dana, we got the DOT camera back. Let's go to that there. This is outside Tomah. So this is heavy rain. Looks like hail falling there.
Hail, yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is looking to the southeast. This is actually away from where the possible tornado is. So again, this is something that.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's obviously affecting travel. People are still trying to drive through it, but again, we're going to probably see that camera jump in and out. So let's go back here to the tornado warning.
Yeah, can we go back to the Amazon Max2? Again, this is what we're watching right now, a tornado warning in Monroe, Juneau, and Adams counties until 5 o'clock. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but even areas outside of this center portion that, again, we're starting to see that hook, that wraparound, and that signature on our velocity, this center area. We also have hail outside of that, heavy rainfall, and high winds outside of that. So anyone within this warned area does need to seek shelter. This is continuing to lift northeast, so looking towards Camp Douglas, Cutler. This is Highway 21. Folks need to seek shelter immediately, even with that hail threat and the high wind threat building in as well. The center of this, that hook, it looks like, Gary, if we can take a look at that velocity, it looks like it's already over the interstate for us right now. So things moving very, very fast. There it is for us. Our velocity there is a good indication of the rotation coming through. It looks like that's still right along the interstate for us. So Oakdale, south of Tomah, just west of Camp Douglas, Cutler along the line next, north of Highway 21 in Juneau, and then in Adams counties. Folks need to get inside, try to get into an interior room away from any exterior wall. So arrival times here, Oakdale, as we look closer to 4:13. So moving fast, that's 2 minutes. Folks need to get inside and get into the basement or into that interior room. Necedah by 4:34, and then continuing northeast. So now we're purple.
Yeah, this is ramping up here. Let's.
Yes.
So now this is a considerable tornado threat. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Tomah, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. National Weather Service saying this is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. So again, if you are in the area around Camp Douglas, Necedah, you need to take shelter immediately. And this is one of those situations. Let's take a look and see if we can see anything on our debris track, because this would give us an indication if we are getting the possibility of debris being lofted here. And so let's just take a look here and see what that is showing, because it would be very interesting to see. So right
just outside of Camp Douglas, Gary.
Yeah. So that blue area there, just to the north of I-90-94, that is an indication debris is being lofted in the air. This is a serious situation. You need to take shelter immediately. Anywhere around Camp Douglas as far east as Necedah, get into a safe area immediately. That's anywhere east of I-90-94 through the western portion of Juneau County. You need to seek shelter immediately. If you are at home, We got our tornado safety rules here.
The center of the basement, absolutely best, Gary. If you can get away from those exterior walls and get as low as possible. If you don't have a basement, again, that interior room, a closet on the lowest level, and you want to make sure to try to cover yourself with pillows or cushions or blankets or even some sort of helmet, because this is a large and dangerous tornado. We have confirmation on the ground. We have that debris signature in the air, so you need to take every precaution possible. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of a mobile home right now and get to that exterior shelter that is brick or sturdy, and again, into an interior wall. In a vehicle right now, get out and get to a nearby sturdy building, something made out of brick, something strong. As a last resort, get into a ditch or buckle up and get down as low as possible. Public buildings, away from any of those exterior walls and away from any windows. And if you are in a large store right now, if you're watching us, I know we're streaming on a few different platforms. Quick Trip, Culver's, a small room with a walk-in refrigerator or freezer, that's going to be the safest place for you to be in right now. This tornado warning for Juneau and Adams counties now a considerable threat for us. An observed tornado just outside of Tomah. The center of this right along I-90-94, right before the split. So this is just west of Camp Douglas. Things have really built in over the last hour. These signatures continue to confirm that we're dealing with a significant threat right now on top of that confirmation on the ground. So our velocity gives us a good look at that rotation. That's what we're keeping a close eye on right now. Folks just northwest of that do need to seek shelter immediately. We also have hail and high winds along with this line of thunderstorms. So as this cell is building in, all that other area around it also dealing with the impacts from this. So a tornado warning from Juneau, Adams, and Monroe counties until 5 o'clock due to that observed tornado, a considerable threat right now for us, Gary.
Yeah, and we're just, again, this is the tornado debris signature. What we're looking for is on here, you can see all of these colors are relatively the same. That's an indication that what's bouncing back to the radio, the signal that's bouncing back to the radar is kind of the same shape, usually raindrops. But notice this right in the middle, that blue. That once you start seeing these blue colors, the lower levels of what we call the correlation coefficient, that's an indication that debris is definitely being lifted in the air. So this is a very serious situation. That's why the National Weather Service has put out this upgrade to the tornado warning, basically to warn people that a large and extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground. And again, this is just to the northwest of Camp Douglas, and we'll be tracking through the probably the western and northern portions of Juneau County, and you can see the storm shear. That's an indication that the rotation is ramping up too. So the storms start. It's getting stronger and stronger as time goes on.
It is. That line there again with our shear track, showing the storm, tightening the storm, strengthening and growing. This is also a look at our hail indicator. The velocity signature is there. So for us in-house looking at the radar, the signature is there. And again, we do have that confirmation on the ground also for this threat. So we have a tornado warning still in effect.
And it looks like we have another tornado warning now coming out.
Travel further south, yes.
It's actually just outside of our viewing area. This is for the northeastern portion of Vernon County around Hillsborough. But Mauston, Elroy, you are immediately upstream from this, and this is because of a possible tornado near Hillsborough. So let's stop the radar here for a second and take a look at that. So, and this storm, you can see a hook echo here too. You can see a hook pretty clear. So that's an indication right there, that rotation just to the between Lafarge and Hillsborough, that area there. So Dana, you want to point that out there?
Yep, this is the area that we're watching right now. Again, just outside of our viewing area, but this is going to continue to move northeast. Gary's pulling up that gate-to-gate shear again so we can see the difference there, keeping a close eye on how that difference grows and if that rotation tightens and if the storm strengthens. But this is what we're watching, a tornado possible. So this latest tornado warning extending from Hillsborough and Mauston's right next on the list as far as anything coming in downstream. So this is what we're keeping an eye on, a second tornado warning for us right now, all along a line that includes a few severe thunderstorm warnings also for us currently. So this primary tornado warning for our area, Juneau, Adams, Monroe counties until 5 o'clock, a considerable tornado on the ground, an observed tornado on the ground with the signature. You could see that hook a little bit ago. We've also seen the signature on our velocity velocity and our debris and seeing that rotation. So just north of I-90 right now, it looks like that northeast of Toma, northwest of Camp Douglas. So Cutler next along Highway 21. Anyone in Necedah also needs to seek shelter immediately because we're also seeing high wind and hail along with the center of this. So looking at arrival times, Cutler, we're getting closer to about 4:27. Cloverdale 4:31, Necedah at 4:38. So things are moving very fast along this line. You folks need to get inside immediately. If you're streaming us right now and you're outside, I know it's the middle of June. A lot of folks trying to be out at the pool right now or enjoy camping. You need to seek shelter. It's not going to be enough just to try to get as low as possible. This is a considerable tornado, an observed tornado. It's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, that's just is not looking good.
No, not at all.
Again, and it's just in the far eastern portions of Monroe County. But if we zoom in here, you can see this is right now. It's right along Highway 170 or Highway 21. So there's 21. There's Wyville. There's Cutler. If you are in Cutler, this storm is going to be in your area very, very shortly. So again, when you see rotation like this is something that gets your attention very, very quickly. We're looking at the winds on one side of the storm moving away from the radar at about 52 miles an hour. Winds on the other side of the storm moving toward the radar at 58. So you have about 120 miles per hour of rotation, basically, just to the south of Wyville with that storm. So again, this is not to be trifled with. There has been a confirmed tornado on the ground, and the other thing that we're seeing is the debris signature, and that is this area right there, and we're still seeing the debris that's right along Highway 21. So that's a very, very good indication that we do have debris being lofted into the air. So again, this is something that if you are in that area, you need to seek shelter immediately.
And this debris signature, again, Gary, you talked about this earlier, all the purple, that's a good indication of moisture, raindrops in the atmosphere. That's the color that maybe doesn't mean that there are other things being lifted up, but when we see this bright dot up in the atmosphere, we see the blues and the yellows coming through, that's an indication that debris is being lifted into the atmosphere. The radar's picking that up, and that's more confirmation that we have a tornado on the ground. This tornado warning, a very dangerous situation. We have confirmation on the ground and the signatures coming through. This is the area we're concerned about. We also have hail spots popping up. So while we're keeping a close eye on that tight rotation just outside of Camp Douglas and outside of Cutler right now, we're also keeping an eye on other areas that are dealing with heavy rainfall, high winds and hail. I believe I just saw a tornado warning pop up to the north also, Gary. That might be outside of our viewing area, though. Yeah, that's far to the north. Yeah. Okay.
But we do have that other tornado warning, again, just outside of our viewing area for far northeastern portions of Vernon County. But that storm, as it holds together, will be moving toward Elroy and Mauston, which is in Juneau County. If you are in Elroy or Mauston, I would take shelter immediately. Looking at this storm, this is also not a very good situation. If we look at the wind velocity here, again, that is just to the west of Hillsboro. That's this area right here. So here's the rotation, and that is tracking right toward Elroy. So I would not be surprised to see a tornado warning come out very quickly for the southern portion of Juneau County and maybe even for parts of Sauk County as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that Sauk County is handled under the National Weather Service office out of Sullivan, and they are just mentioning that they are watching those cells very, very closely because they will possibly be moving into the northwestern portions of Sauk County, but definitely southern Juneau County around Elroy. You need to seek shelter immediately because this storm is basically heading right in your direction, and you can see that hook echo right here. This is the tornado warning area. That warning in effect for northeastern portions of Crawford County. That is until 4:45. But again, these storms are moving at about 50 miles an hour. So Elroy, this storm will be in your area very quickly. If we do a quick storm track on that, you'll see that in Elroy, get a quick idea here on the arrival time, but this is moving in your direction, and even at 40 miles an hour, that puts the storm in your area in about maybe 15 minutes. So again, if you are in Elroy, I would go to a safe place immediately.
In 15 minutes, just saying that out loud might sound like a lot of time, but these storms are moving very quickly, Gary.
Right.
So it's important to drive home that if you are within the warned area or just downstream, you do need to seek shelter and get to your basement. 10-15 minutes is really not a lot of time when it comes to getting to a safe place. This tornado warning that we're still keeping an eye on in Monroe, Juneau, and Adams County, this is our northernmost. tornado warning right now goes until 5 o'clock. The center of this that we've been keeping a close eye on, coast to Cutler and Camp Douglas, that has been the best indication for tight rotation. We've also seen that debris signature coming through. We've had considerable impact or considerable alignment there with our radar scans, but also an observed source on the ground. Outside of that rotation, we also have seen our hail signature come through. So there it is yet again, that debris signature. When we're seeing yellows and blues, that means that debris is being lifted up into the atmosphere. The purple around that scatter is all moisture and raindrops. When we see purple, that's normal things in the sky. But when we have blues and greens popping up and yellows, that's when we get concerned, because that's when we have other things being lifted up for us right now. Just west of Cutler, so this is the area that we're continuing to keep an eye on. So you can see the travel path here. Just about 15 minutes ago, we were talking just south of Tomah. This rotation and that debris signature now has lasted all the way up close to Cutler. Looking at the timing and the track for this, continuing to move northeast over the next several hours. Notice we have several natural areas and parks included in this. I know it's the middle of June. I know a lot of folks trying to get outside and enjoy being outdoors. Some people may have had this alert pop up on their phone because we're streaming on several different sources right now. If you are getting this alert and you've watched this on Facebook, you need to seek shelter right now. If you're getting this in a car or you're out at a park right now, you need to get to that innermost rim, because this is still that rotation signature for us just west of Cutler. Looking at our velocity.
Yeah, Dana,
again,
I would say anywhere north of Highway 21 and west of Highway 80, you need to be in a safe shelter right now. And if you're farther east, like toward Necedah and even north of Necedah, you need to be heading to a safe shelter right now.
Yes. So this is, again, Gary was just saying Highway 21 and 80, so that triangle there, northwest of Necedah, that's the area that we're most concerned about for seeing that rotation. And again, we do have confirmation on the ground, and we have those signatures coming through for us on our radar. Looking just a little further south, we also have a tornado warning. This is for Crawford County, just outside of Hillsborough. That latest scan just shifting things up quite a bit for us, Gary. But you can see the hail signature along with this, a lot of heavy rainfall. This is just west of our viewing area, but anyone in the Mauston area or Elroy area does need to seek shelter. It's in Vernon County right now. That tornado warning goes until 4:45.
And Dana, a couple quick updates. First of all, the National Weather Service in Sullivan has now issued a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15 for far northwestern Sauk County. So again, that is because of that cell that is right around Hillsborough.
So this is just downstream.
I'm just going to move the map here. So this is the new warning here, and it's just the main part of the storm will pass just to the northwest of Sauk County. Hail is probably going to be the main threat, maybe some strong winds right now, but because of the possibility that the storm could produce a tornado, the National Weather Service on the warning itself for far northwestern Sauk County does have tornado possible on there. But farther to the north, again, we have Okay, I'm just being told I-90-94 eastbound at Oakdale is being closed. Do we know why? Is that because of damage? That's
close to the area where we had that debris signature going directly over the interstate. That is the exact area.
So there you can see it. It says closed because of a crash there and a tipped semi. So again, this is that's from the storm that's farther to the north. Let's go take a look at that storm. And why don't you just guys come back to me here, Dana, if you want to just take a little bit of a break there. I know you're okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yep.
But right now, the area that we're most concerned with right now is in the western portion of Juneau County. That is that cell that's moving. That the latest information from the National Weather Service said the tornado, large and extremely dangerous tornado, 11 miles northeast of Tomah, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So that is the cell that we're watching right there. We'll look at the wind velocity. You can see the velocity just a tad less than what we saw before. Let's take a look at the debris signature. Still seeing a debris signature though. So that is debris being lofted in the air.
Debris being lofted in the air. That velocity signature is not quite as tight. However, it really lined up with that radar scan you had pulled up, Gary, where there was a bit of a hook. So again, seeing those signatures and that confirmation on the ground, that's why the warning is in place for us right now. Gary? Yeah,
and you can see right there, this is just to the northeast of Wyville and just to the northwest of Cutler. And also, we'll do a quick measurement here. So here's Necedah. So this would be about 10 miles west-northwest of Necedah. So that's the area of the tornado. It is heading to the northeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. We now have a tornado warning for southwestern Juneau County. That's what we were afraid of for that storm that is moving out of Vernon County. And so this is out of the one around Hillsborough in the northeastern portion of Vernon County. We now have a tornado warning, and that is for the southern portion of Juneau County. Radar indicating a possible tornado over Hillsborough, moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So you can see where Hillsborough is here. We'll take a look at the wind velocity, and that is right there. So if you want to point out where Hillsborough is there.
Can you pull the map up just a little bit for me, Gary? This is the area that we're keeping a close eye on, again, just outside of Hillsborough. So a downstream tornado warning now extending into the southern portion of Juneau County. So this is exactly what Gary and I were expecting, exactly what we were warning folks in Elroy and Mauston right now.
Walk,
need to seek shelter immediately. This is a storm that has the capability of producing a tornado, is moving very quickly. We're seeing that debris or that velocity signature, the possibility for rotation. And this is that hook that we've also been keeping a close eye on just outside of Hillsborough right now. So this extends into the southern portion of Juneau County until 5 o'clock. This is the area outside of Hillsborough we're keeping an eye on. So right along Highway 33, it looks like, or just the northern edge of Highway 80 there, outside of Elroy and towards Mauston. These folks do need to seek shelter right now.
And I'm just going to move the map here southward a little bit. We're watching other cells that are developing over Grant County. This is really what we were afraid of. The atmosphere is just poised for severe weather. So these storms can very easily go severe. So we're seeing just a little wider perspective here. So you can see the tornado warning storms, they're up from Crawford or from Vernon County into southern Juneau County, and then of course the storm in northern Juneau County. But you have all these other cells that are developing, severe thunderstorm warnings now just to the west of Dubuque, Iowa. So again, this whole area, anywhere along that line, you can expect severe weather to develop very quickly. If you are in the path of these storms, they're going to be moving very quickly, about anywhere from 35 to 50 miles per hour from what we've been seeing. The main area of the line of storms is moving off toward the east at about 50 miles per hour.
And this is a good reminder, Gary, that our entire area is under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. So while this is on our western portion of our viewing area right now, where we're keeping a close eye, again, this is the entire view right now. Over the last 3 hours, this line building in, we have a tornado watch until 10 because the atmosphere is so warm and so humid right now. These storms building in to a really unstable environment. So looking at our future track, the arrival time here, the heavy rainfall getting right over downtown Madison as we get closer to about 7 o'clock. You can see to the north we have that heavy rainfall. There's a threat throughout the rest of this evening for high winds, hail, heavy rainfall, and a few tornadoes. So this threat is going to continue. That's why that tornado watch is in effect. It means we're watching the area right now. But right now we're keeping a close eye on these tornado warnings also.
So yeah, let's just summarize these that we have right here.
Yep.
So we have the tornado warning. This is for the southern portion of Juneau County until 5 p.m. And then I'm going to reset this here. This is Monroe County has now been dropped from this tornado warning.
So this is Juneau and Adams
But this is Juneau and Adams counties tornado warning there. And that is until 5 p.m. as well.
So this is now just north of Necedah right now, stretching to the northern portion of Juneau and Adams County. Is going to go till 5 o'clock, bouncing down just a little bit for the southern portion of Juneau County. So just outside of Elroy and Mauston, this is the area that we're keeping an eye on, a downstream tornado warning with the possibility of producing a tornado. We've seen the hook pop up, that hook echo on our radar. This line that we've been watching now moving in, it does look like we just had something else popping up in Sauk County, Gary, south of that tornado warning.
Okay,
outside of Cutler, I'll let you look at that real quick. Outside of Cutler and north of Necedah, this tornado warning also until 5 o'clock. This one, a dangerous situation. We have that confirmation on the ground, and then we also have the radar confirmation. So in northwestern Sauk County right now, in northwestern Sauk County, a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning for us in southern Juneau County, a tornado warning in northern Juneau County and in Adams County right now until 5 o'clock. The threat there in Juneau and Adams, considerable tornado on the ground, has been observed on the ground, and we have that debris signature popping up. Looking a little further south, the southern portion of Juneau County and the northwest corner of Sauk County. Sauk County right now under a severe thunderstorm warning. The southern portion of Juneau County under a tornado warning. Also still monitoring this tornado warning in Juneau and Adams counties. Monroe no longer in it, as that threat is moving very quickly now into Juneau County.
Yeah, Dana, I'm going to just give you a break here because I'm going to have to reset some stuff on the radar here just so that we can, I want to make sure that we're covering, we've had multiple warnings here. I want to, at least for the time being, give Dana a break so she can grab something to drink real quickly and just kind of quickly go over the warnings that we have in effect here, and I'm actually going to recenter. So the first one we have, this is the most serious storm that we have. This is for the northern portion of Juneau County, northern Adams County. This is a confirmed tornado now approaching Highway 80. So that warning in effect until 5 p.m. So the next warning is farther to the south. That is the tornado warning. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for the northwestern portion of Sauk County. That's as a storm moves out of the Hillsborough area farther north. And so I'm just going to move this one down over here. And in between, I'm going to get the other warning here because we have three warnings. We have the tornado warning for southern portions of Juneau County. This warning here is in effect, I believe, until 5 p.m. and that is for the area around Elroy up as far as Mauston. So that is east of Highway 80. That storm right now heading toward Mauston and Hillsborough. So I'm just going to save these so that we can come back to them very quickly. We'll take a quick look at the wind velocity here. So this storm is right over Elroy. If you are in Elroy, you need to be in a safe area immediately. It's not as significant of a circulation as the storm farther to the north, but Mauston, you are next in line. So anywhere along Highway 82, Highway 80, north and east of Elroy, you need to be in a safe area immediately. For the warning for Juneau County and Adams County, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more here, and we're going to do a quick storm track on this. Again, this tornado warning in effect until 5 p.m. and just seeing if there's any additional information. Usually we get updates from the National Weather Service every few minutes. They're still talking about a large and extremely dangerous tornado 10 miles northwest of Necedah, as we showed you before, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So that's the speed that they have on it right now. If we look at the wind velocity, you can see the velocity, the rotation is not as intense. This is north of Cutler, there's Necedah. So that's where the rotation is. If we go and we look at the debris signature, we're still seeing some debris lofted. It's not as intense as it was before, but again, this is approaching Highway 80. There's Armenia to the north of Necedah. So this is heading in. And so we have an image coming in from Twitter of the tornado.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So a likely picture there. It looks like, Gary.
Yeah. So this is from it looks like Trey Greenwood up at the top there. Mm-hmm. And that is in the Toma area. And guess what? We have another tornado warning coming in.
And another tornado warning. So let's get back. This is Sauk County, right?
Yeah, this is for Richland County. This warning here, and I'm going to save this here so that we can come back to it very quickly. Mm-hmm. This is a tornado warning for the northeastern portion of Richland County until 5:15. This does include Richland Center. And we'll take a quick look at the wind velocity here. This is, let's see. So right around Richland Center, you can see another area of circulation just to the southwest of Richland Center, moving to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour.
So this does include Richland Center and Rockbridge. So this is right along Highway 14, extending up to 56. Folks in this area do need to seek shelter right now. The center of this, just southwest of Richland Center, that's where we're likely seeing rotation right now. So closer to Richland Center as we get near 440, Willow by 455, and Lime Ridge by 502. So still moving quite quickly right now, and not getting as clear of a debris signature there, Gary, as what we saw further north, but that concern, the possibility for rotation still there. That tornado warning, the one of most concern in southern Juneau and Adams counties right now, still until 5 o'clock, just west of 80. The rotation not quite as tight with that last velocity scan that we saw, but still seeing that debris signature, and still anyone right in this area just west of 80 north of Cutler. Anyone east of that, northeast of that, Armenia included, does need to seek shelter right now because we are still seeing that hail signature and high winds along with this. So the velocity not quite as tight, but still seeing that heavy rainfall. The southern portion of Juneau County, this tornado warning stretching from Elroy to Mauston and stretching down 58. It does look just northeast of Elroy.
I would say this area right in here, just east of Elroy and just southwest of Mauston, that's the area that the wind circulation is taking place. If we look at the debris, not seeing any debris lofted there, so that's a good sign. Does not mean that there is not a tornado on the ground. Farther to the south, we have a severe thunderstorm warning just for the northwestern portion of Sauk County around Woodland. That is mainly for hail and high winds, although it is possible that the storm could eventually produce a tornado. And then we have the tornado warning for Richland County. This is northeastern portions of Richland County, including Richland Center and Rockbridge. Tornado warning in effect until 5:15.
So this is our latest tornado warning coming in for right now for Richland County. We have 3 tornado warnings, 1 severe thunderstorm warning right now. This latest tornado warning in Richland County. This building in, looking at our radar loop over the last hour very, very quickly. Richland Center included in this, Rockbridge also included in this. As we can take a broader look out, this line, this is what's triggering all of these tornado warnings extending through our area. Southern Wisconsin under a tornado watch until 5 o'clock. This line is producing already a considerable threat and the concern for tornadoes, but the concern also for hail and high winds as this continues to build in. So this loop pulling us over the last hour, things are moving through very, very quickly. The southernmost and most recent tornado warning is radar indicated, but still folks in Richland Center right now, it does look like the front edge of that getting very close to Richland Center right along Highway 14. Looking into Juneau County right now, it's the southern portion of Juneau County under a tornado warning. Further to the north of Necedah, this is not purple anymore, Gary.
Yeah, it's a good news.
It's a good sign.
The National Weather Service La Crosse saying that confirmed tornado 9 miles south of Babcock or 20 miles northwest of Friendship, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So again, this circulation has weakened a bit, but it is still capable. It actually is producing at least a confirmed tornado on the ground, not as intense as it was before. If we look at the wind velocity here, this is going to be right around Armenia, just to the west of there, south of Remington. So again, the circulation just to the east of Highway 80, it is a little broader circulation. So we're not seeing that really tight circulation that we were seeing before. If we look at the debris signature, still seeing some debris, but this may be delayed a little bit because we have the circulation now over here, the debris back over here. So it'll be interesting when the new scan comes in for this, because basically the National Weather Service radar, as it goes around, detects the rain and precipitation and whatever else is being bounced back to the radar at different levels. So it takes a couple of minutes for the computers to kind of scan everything and then give us some more information. So now, more tornado warnings. This one is for northeastern Grant County and southeastern Richland County. So let's go back to Dana.
Let's take a broader look, yeah.
And so let's, we're going to go farther south here.
So now this is the southern portion of Richland County. So south of Richland Center, Muscadet included in this, Buena Vista included in this, north of Avoca. This is our latest tornado warning. Avoca, I apologize, Avoca. This is now 4 tornado warnings for us right now. This latest tornado warning goes until 5:30. and Grant and Richland counties. This is the area just outside of Muscadet that we're keeping an eye on. Highway 60 and areas north, and then right along Highway 14 still. Anyone within this area does, again, need to seek shelter. There is the possibility for that line to produce a tornado right now and also bring the high wind and hail threat into the area. Possibly seeing some rotation there, again, right along Highway 60 and Muscadet. Not seeing a tight rotation, but still possibly in that area. So radar indicated possibly possible capable of producing a tornado. Looking at our debris signature right now, again, just outside of Muscadet. And along Highway 60.
Yeah, that may be hail that's to the southeast of Muscadet because it's not located with the wind circulation. So again, that doesn't mean that the storm is not producing a tornado or will not. That area is under a tornado warning.
It's capable.
And so we have that, and another tornado warning. This one to the north. So, I mean, the Weather Service is just, you go from the La Crosse office to the Sullivan office, and this is a new one.
So this is, but you're right, Gary, this is another important thing. This is right at a crossover between two of our radar sites. We have the La Crosse radar site and the Milwaukee-Sullivan radar site. So that's what we're working on right now. This is downstream of those two warnings in Richland County and the northeastern portion of Grant County. So this stretches for us into Sauk County, including Highway 12, Baraboo, Plain, Loganville, all downstream of this line as it's moving through very quickly, Gary. We've watched this build in over the last hour.
Yeah, National Weather Service actually has the storm moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. Wow. So if we do a storm track on that, and again, this is right around the Muscadet area, at 55 miles an hour, this shows you how far it'll be moving. So Plain, you'll be in line with the storm by about 5:02, and eventually up in areas west of Baraboo, probably by around maybe about say 5:15, 5:20. So
viewers are asking about the Baraboo area.
They're asking about the Baraboo area. So, okay, this
Baraboo would be in line for this.
Baraboo is in line for this. So Baraboo is now included. I know that we're streaming on a few different platforms, so that's a great opportunity for folks to ask questions and give reports of what you're seeing on the ground. So in the Baraboo area, now included in this tornado warning, this latest warning, extending into parts of Sauk and Iowa County downstream of this line in Richland and Grant counties right now. So this is a downstream warning, but the storm is moving very, very quickly. So we're looking at this impacting Baraboo as we get closer to about 5:15, so another 30 minutes right along Highway 12. Plain and the eastern portion of Sauk and Iowa counties and or western portions, of Sauk and Iowa counties included in this warning. Folks within this area do need to seek shelter right now. I know Baraboo includes a lot of campgrounds and of course Devil's Lake. That area, you need to get into a secure building. We've talked about this a few times. Mobile homes, not a safe option. Trying to be in your car right now, not a safe option. You need to be in a secure structure. Gary? Yeah,
let's run down because we have a number of warnings that are in effect, and let's just give Dana a chance to catch her breath here for a second while I recenter the radar. Basically what we have several tornado warnings that are currently in effect across the area. First one, this is a tornado warning effective until 5 p.m. This is for the northeastern portion of Juneau County, northern portions of Adams County. This is for a tornado that has done damage in the area around Oakdale, around Toma, now north and west of Big Flats, north of Necedah. That's the area that's most at risk there. Farther to the south, we have another tornado warning. This is for the southern portion of Juneau County. This includes Elroy, Wanawak, up toward Mauston. If we look at the wind circulation there, it looks like the wind circulation now is probably just to the southeast or southwest of Mauston. Again, a wider, a little broader wind circulation, but a tornado warning in effect for that area nonetheless. We have another tornado warning, or a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for northwestern portions of Sauk County. That is for the southern portion of that storm. Then farther to the south, we have a tornado warning. This is for the eastern portion, or southeastern portion, or northeastern portion of Richland County, including Richland Center. That is in effect until 5:15. Then we have tornado warning. This one is for Iowa County and Sauk County until 5:30. That is basically for the storm that's around Muscadet. And then farther to the south, I'll just add this one in here, we have that tornado warning. This is for the southeastern portion of Crawford County, I believe. That warning is right around Muscadet there. Actually, let's do this here. There we go. For Grant, far northeastern portions of Grant County around Muscoda, and then the southeastern portion of Richland County around Buena Vista. That warning in effect until 5 p.m. So I'll just add that to the list here. Again, it's one of those kinds of days. Right now, probably the storm that's still of most concern is the one in the northern portion of Juneau County, because this one has had a history of producing tornadoes. A
considerable threat in the northern portion of Juneau and Adams counties. Gary, if you wouldn't mind really quickly taking a broader look. I know we just went through the full list of the warnings. I want to take a look at the bigger picture very quickly and then get back to those individual threats. We are under a tornado watch throughout southern Wisconsin until 10 o'clock. So I know in our different streaming options, people have been asking questions about timing. Folks off to the east here need to have a way to receive warnings later, because as we look ahead at our 3-hour future track, this is going to continue to build in over Madison, Janesville, Monroe, Beloit over the next few hours. So this is going to continue to build east and have quite a bit of strength along with it. While you're not under a threat right now, you have to have a way to receive alerts through the rest of this evening. Those of you right now, again, under those warnings, that list that Gary just went through, you need to get to a safe spot wherever you are at. The center of your basement is the best. The lowest lying area away from any exterior walls. If you don't have a basement though, an interior room or a closet on the lowest level. A bathroom also a great option. Getting into a bathtub. Yes,
Dana,
Gary.
excuse me, we've got a live picture. This is outside of Mauston. Looks like from a DOT camera there, showing the storms rolling through there. And we now have a new, I'm sorry. Yeah,
why is it green?
Not sure. Somebody asked, why is it green? I'm not sure.
And the camera's out now. So
yeah,
it could have, that's one of those where sometimes the color coming through from those DOT cameras, it could be a glitch thing. It could be that outside it is looking more of a yellow or hued tint, but the color on those DOT cameras isn't always super accurate for us. And that latest warning coming in, Gary?
Yeah, this one will be in effect until 5:30, and let me see if I can get that one called up here. This is for southeastern Juneau and west central Adams County. So that's the one that's flashing right here.
So this extends outside of Mauston.
Yeah, so this is basically an extension of the southern Juneau County warning. This warning in effect, and I'll add the information here, that's in effect until 5:30. So that's basically from Mauston as far east as Adams and as far northwest as Springfield. And boy, another. I mean, there's just like one right after another. So we have that warning, and then and the National Weather Service, to be very honest with you, is just trying to keep up with these storms, because they are all pretty much capable of producing tornadoes. And
absolutely.
So,
I mean, that's the point of issuing the warnings, Gary. Warning folks that way they can seek shelter and they can keep themselves safe. So a few new warnings coming through, Gary, if you want to pull these up.
Yep, and so let me just add this one here. Charlotte Deleste is acting as our runner right now. She is literally running stuff off of our printer as it comes in. So this is for Sauk County.
Oh, okay, so outside of Reedsburg.
So yeah, this is the northern portion of Sauk County, tornado warning until 5:30. So that basically covers the storm coming out of Richland County. So again, I'm just going to add this to the list here, but I'll give you one quick wide perspective.
If we could take a bigger view, I think it's easier almost to see how things are being issued downstream. We'll take a closer look in a second at the individual highways, but you can see the line here, and then downstream for Iowa, Sauk counties, Juneau and Adams counties. Those are the warnings that have just been issued, just come out for us, going until 5:30. So these in front of the line, folks, again, in front of the line do need to seek shelter, but we now have several tornado warnings in effect. Those under immediate impact just outside of Lone Rock, extending all the way up through Mauston and up into the Rockbridge area as well, into Juneau and Adams counties, and now extending more into Adams County.
So let's just make this easy. I mean, if you are anywhere west of Wisconsin Dells and say west of Dodgeville, you probably should go to a safe area immediately. Pretty much all of Sauk County, most of Juneau and Adams counties under severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings, as well as the most of Richland County, northwestern Iowa County, north and west of Dodgeville, and the far northeastern portion of Grant County. So again, this is just a serious situation. I'm trying to monitor the National Weather Service to see if we're getting any reports. We're seeing some reports from law enforcement of possibly some damage in around Mauston from these storms. So,
and we had a few reports near Toma, and that was where a section.
And so, James, excuse me one second, James, you said tornado on the ground where? Okay, so tornado on the ground, southern, and this is from the National Weather Service in La Crosse. I'm not sure. They say it's moving toward Mauston, and that's as of 4 minutes ago. But we're again, I'm trying to see where.
Can you flip over?
Yeah, there's a couple of areas of circulation, and it's possible it could be a tornado, it could be very high winds. The area south of Mauston more likely could be straight line winds. The area northeast of Mauston could be more of a tornado, but it's very difficult to say. Again, when you're in a situation like this, we're getting all kinds of reports. We've got producers talking to us. We're monitoring the National Weather Service for their reports. They're getting reports from law enforcement, storm spotters that are out in the field. We're monitoring the radar. So we're getting it's kind of like drinking water out of a fire hose. You just have a lot of stuff going on. Some of these reports may be accurate. Some of them may not. We're not sure. It's hard to filter those out. But
this was directly from the National Weather Service in La Crosse, Gary.
Okay, so from the National, and
this is a second touchdown separate from the Toma tornado in southern Juneau County.
Yeah, so this is a confirmed tornado 7 miles northeast of Mauston. So the original report that we got was southwest. It's actually 7 miles northeast of Mauston, and that makes sense because that's exactly what I was talking about.
This is what you were looking at, yeah.
Yeah, the south of Mauston, it's more likely to be straight line winds. Northeast of Mauston, it's probably this area right over here. Where let me just see if I can. So somewhere right in there, that circulation. So again, confirmed tornado out of that circulation doesn't look too impressive right now, but again.
But
yes.
You drove home a second ago, Gary. You said we got that report a few minutes ago. There's a possibility for that. The storm has a history of producing a tornado. There's a possibility for it to do it again.
And the report now a little bit updated from the Weather Service, confirmed tornado damage to the Mauston Hospital and grounds in that area. So again, a serious situation. But this is not the original storm that was farther to the north that moved through Toma and then up.
No, this is separate.
And this is the southern storm that came out of the Hillsborough area. So again, these storms are spiking up. They could produce damage. They could produce tornadoes very quickly in the weather situation that we're in. And notice here, and I'm just going to highlight that area because this is the tornado with the Mauston storm. Confirmed tornado 7 miles northeast of Mauston, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So this is the tornado warning for the southern portion of Juneau County and far southwestern southern portion of Adams County, south of the city of Adams. So again, this is just it's a serious situation.
It's a serious situation extending with all of our different tornado warnings, but even within those warnings, again, Gary pointed this out just a second ago, we have the possibility for straight line wind damage, for hail damage, and for these tornadoes on the ground. And straight line wind damage can cause just as much destruction as a small tornado. So when we tell folks to get inside, this warning is issued for your own safety, your own protection. These warnings extending right now pretty much west of the Dells, all the way up and down Sauk, Richland counties, Juneau, Adams counties, including that, Iowa County, the northern portion of Iowa County included in that. So we have warnings extending now through most of the area. So Gary, right now trying to keep everything organized, but as this line builds in, while it is still west of the Dells, we're also keeping an eye on the rest of the area because it's going to continue to build east. So this is what we're looking at right now, just outside of Mauston, northeast of Mauston. That was where we had confirmation from the National Weather Service office in La Crosse of a tornado on the ground just a few minutes ago. The velocity does look like things are a little broader. However, the storm has a history of producing tornadoes. That means it can happen again if there isn't something on the ground right now. So anyone within that area does need to seek shelter immediately. This does extend.
I'm just trying to line up all the tornado warnings that we have right now, just so that people can get an idea. Because, like I say, there are so many different warnings that are, in fact, it's hard to really determine what is the most serious ones and which ones are in areas where things may be starting to clear out here. And so I just want to kind of line them up from.
Can we go north to south?
Yeah, that's
possibly?
exactly what I'm trying to do. So let's start out here. So we have the
Sure, yes.
I'll let you drive. I'll drive
okay.
the radar, and you point them out here. And so
Juneau and Adams counties right now, Armenia included in this. This goes until 5 o'clock, so about another 4 minutes. But this is downstream from that Toma warning. We can still see that hail signature moving a little further south right now, the southern portion of Juneau and Adams counties, northeast of Mauston. We had a confirmed tornado on the ground. This warning extends just south of Quincy and just west of Adams, so right along Highway 13. That goes until 5:30 as well for the southern portion of Juneau and Adams County. Moving just a little further south now, right along this line. The next warning in Sauk County, in Sauk County until 5:30.
Yeah, you got to love. Yeah, it's like I said. I want to recenter the maps here so that we have the latest information.
This includes Laval and Reedsburg. Again, we're seeing that hail signature. We're also seeing the possibility for rotation and for tornadoes. So that warning also until 5:30. Moving yet again further south through Sauk County. This downstream extending for the rest of Sauk County, including the Baraboo area, including Highway 12. And just outside of Honey Creek and Sumter, North Freedom also included in this. This is a radar indicated tornado. Just right now, the leading edge of this lining up with Highway 23. So anywhere east of Highway 23, you need to seek shelter immediately. Anywhere right along Highway 23, just west of Plain, you need to be in your safe spot right now because we are seeing that radar indication. I believe
I'm just going to
About Wisconsin Dells.
the Dells, this is just, again, southwest or south of the Dells right now, so or just in that area. Still far to the west, but this is included in that need to seek shelter in front of this line. They need to seek
I would
shelter.
say Juneau, Adams, Sauk,
Richland, or Richland's almost out, but
Iowa County, you need to be in a safe shelter area. And then if you are in, say, Marquette County, Western Columbia County, so basically anywhere west of I-39, north of Madison. And I would say if you're in the western portion of Dane County, you've got about 45 minutes to an hour before the storms will start moving into Dane County. So again, right now, all the tornado warnings are in the northern portion of this line of storms. And I'll just do the little wider radar perspective here. I mean, there's tornado warnings as far north as Wausau now in the northern portion of the line. But as time goes on, the one thing that we are noticing is that we're not seeing so much the individual thunderstorm cells as more of a solid line. So the tornado threat with time will start to go down a little bit, but the high wind threat will continue to go up. And in fact, we're now seeing more severe thunderstorm warnings. This is for Juneau and Adams counties up to the north here. These are new warnings that are coming out, and they're for a tornado possible. But right now, the main threat is going to be straight line winds to 60 miles per hour, as well as hail. But farther to the south, again, these storms are now starting to form more into a line. So there will be still a tornado threat, but probably not the long-lived type tornado threat. More, unfortunately, tornadoes that are harder to pick up because they don't last as long. Dana did a story a couple of months ago about the Stoughton tornado that happened earlier in March. Spun up very quickly. There was no warning on it because it was along a line of storms like this. And so sometimes in a situation like this, while the tornado threat goes down a little bit, the threat for at least short-lived, brief tornadoes that might not be as strong goes up. And then you also have the potential for damaging straight line winds.
It's when it lines up like that quasi-linear system for us moving through the area. So yes, Gary just nailed it. When we have these quick systems spin up, there's a possibility that we don't pick it up on our radar scans because it does take a few minutes for the scan to complete and get that data back in, get into our system, get it on the air. And with that delay, sometimes we don't get a perfect picture of that rotation. But as this continues to build east, we're going to continue to watch these storms build into a very warm and very humid environment. This is the area we're keeping an eye on just northeast of Mauston right now. So west of Highway 13 and south of Nisita,
Dana,
west of Adams. If we can do a sheer, yep.
Yeah, so right there, I mean, that's a good indication of the
You can see the difference there in the velocity.
The radar signal is coming from the La Crosse National Weather Service radar. You can see the radar beam coming in from the left side there. So what you're seeing is the northern area and this green area here, these are winds that are blowing toward the radar. These are winds that are blowing away from the radar. And so notice the difference, 38 miles an hour this way, 63. So it's almost 100 miles an hour of circulation. So again, this is the area that moved through Mauston, confirmed damage at the hospital, and now the storm moving northeastward. Let's take a quick look to see if we're seeing any debris being lofted in the air, because that's another indication. Not
as clear.
Yeah, it's not as clear. That certainly doesn't mean that there's not a tornado on the ground.
Exactly.
It just means that we're not getting as much of an indication. Plus, we're also kind of at the edge of the La Crosse radar coverage. Then it starts transitioning over to the Sullivan radar, so we're getting farther and farther away. Debris being lofted that high in the sky is much less likely to be detected by radar.
And again, this is just outside of Mauston. This is what we're keeping an eye on right now. This latest tornado warning goes until 5:30. So folks just west of Adams along Highway 13 and in Adams need to seek shelter right now. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. We are seeing that aggressive difference in the velocity right now. It looks like areas west right now have been trimmed off this warning, but Adams still included in this. And again, Highway 13 included in this right now. The surrounding area seeing severe thunderstorm warnings coming through.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we're just past the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. And obviously we're on the air with continuous coverage because of a number of tornado warnings and confirmed tornadoes across the area. But as Dana mentioned, the warning for Juneau County has been trimmed back. It's now just for the southern portion of Adams, or southwestern portion of Adams County until 5:30. Again, for a confirmed tornado near Friendship, according to the National Weather Service, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. If we look at the wind velocity here, and let's zoom in on that area. Let's see if we can find it.
After we look at this, Gary, now that we're at the top of the hour, I think it might be a good idea to recap the warnings again and to look through the whole line for those of you just joining us. Again, staying on with continuing coverage.
Yeah, I want to see the wind velocity difference. Yeah, this is pretty significant. We're seeing again over 100 miles per hour of wind rotation
just south of Adams.
Yep, and so. New warnings, like I say, the newer warnings that are coming in now are more severe thunderstorm warnings rather than tornado warnings. And again, they're still indicating tornado possible with these, but we'll go up to the north, and you can see how the National Weather Service is kind of trying to get out ahead of this. So the latest warning here is a severe thunderstorm warning for Marquette County, and that is until 6 p.m. But again,
notice the threat.
Yeah, it's anywhere west of Highway 39, you probably should be in a safe area right now. If you're, right along or near Highway 39 and to the east, be ready for these storms because they're going to be heading in your direction.
And they are moving through very quickly. So again, we do have several tornado warnings still in effect for us in southern Adams County and stretching down into Sauk County. This is the very northern portion towards Stevens Point. I believe there's one closer to Wausau as well, but coming down into our area in Juneau County or Adams counties, that includes Adams and just outside of Quincy along Highway 13. That goes until 5:30 north of Springville. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. It observed a tornado on the ground there. So folks need to get to their safe spot. Moving further south, we also have a tornado warning for Reedsburg right now. So right along the northern portion of 23, just southwest of the Dells, that area under a tornado warning. Also a tornado warning including Baraboo.
Actually, you know what, Dana, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to see if I can, I think I have a graphic here that would let us show all the warnings just without having the radar on there, because I mean there's just a lot of stuff going on. So let's do this. Let's take a look at it this way, and you can see all the different warnings in effect, but they're mainly north of the Wisconsin River and along I-39. New tornado warning now for central Adams County, so that is an extension of the warning for the southwestern portion of Adams County. So yeah, that's the area almost due north of Wisconsin Dells. So again, let's kind of recap this here. So tornado warning, this is for the observed tornado that's northeast of Mauston. This is the new tornado warning. This is for the eastern portion of Adams County. Farther to the south, tornado warnings for eastern Richland County and much of Sauk County. Again, these storms heading to the northeast. This is for radar indicated tornadoes. These warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, are in effect for the southern portion of Adams County and all of Marquette County. So again, all of this activity mainly north of the Wisconsin River right now and along and west of I-39, but warnings are now starting to be issued east of I-39. And at the same time, if we go, and I'll take a look at the just the overall radar view here, so you can get a better idea of where these storms are now. There's the line, basically now sweeping northeastward, lines up very well with the 3-hour future radar. So you can see how that line of storms continues off toward the northeast. That takes it through the Madison area between about maybe 6 and 7 p.m. And then farther to the east into Dodge and Jefferson counties maybe by about 8 p.m. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a lineup there. Notice the northern portion of this line, more of a solid looking line here. This is where the wind damage potential is probably going to be highest, up through central Wisconsin into the Fox Valley. Farther to the south, you see these individual type cells here. That's where the hail and tornado threat might be a little bit higher, but that at least, as the storms start to move eastward, there looks like they might be weakening just a little bit. Of course, you start getting into the latter part of the evening, the sun starts to go down, the atmosphere starts to cool off a little bit. So you do usually have some weakening, but again, we're still expecting severe weather through much of the evening.
Oh, we're still a few hours away from, several hours away from sunset or from cooling. Things still very warm outside, still very humid for us, and that's why these storms have continued to strengthen as they have moved east. Again, we have warnings extending all the way west of the Dells, and then a tornado watch covering our entire area. This warning for Adams County now stretching towards New Chester, it looks like, Gary. And you can also see that the hail along with that on 13. So
there's the first warning. That is in effect until 5:30. And then the new warning upstream is until 5:45. So basically 2 warnings there. The National Weather Service in La Crosse continuing to watch what they call the bow echo up in Adams County, heading toward Marquette County. And let me just take this off the screen here for a second. And you can see exactly what we're looking at here. And again, this is where the high wind threat might be a little bit higher, up toward Preston and New Chester. And then farther to the south and west, even though it's outside of our area, you can see on the southern end of the line now tornado warnings back into Iowa. So, until this front moves through, there will be the potential for additional tornado warnings. So even though Grant County right now has many of the storms heading through the eastern portion of the county, there still may be storms farther out to the west that could affect them a little bit later on. So again, don't just, if you have storms roll through your area, think, okay, that's over and we're done for the night, because there may be a second round of storms.
Yeah, we have to wait for the entire line, like Gary said, the entire cold front right now driving through. Once it clears out completely to the east, that's when we'll call the whole threat wrapped up. A severe thunderstorm warning, Juneau and Adams County. This includes Armenia and just north of Strong's Prairie until 5:15 for us. So about another 6 minutes along Highway 80, looking just a little further.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this, because we have so many different warnings, and actually a new tornado warning is going to be coming out for the northern portion of Marquette County. And so Marquette County right now under a severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like that cell that is in Adams County is there's going to be a new tornado warning here. So right now, this is what we have. We have tornado warning. This is for the observed tornado east of Mauston. Tornado warning upstream, that is for eastern portions of Adams County. And now a tornado warning for northern Marquette County. That is in effect until 6 p.m. And that again is for the same cell there that'll be moving from New Chester over toward areas north of Packwaukee, the far northern portions of Marquette County.
So this is another downstream warning from what initially started towards Mauston and again well off to the west, now along Highway 13 into parts of Adams County and stretching into Marquette County right along Highway 39. So this latest warning goes until 6 o'clock. Yes, Gary?
Yeah, and I'm just going to save this here because these warnings are all together.
Can we go again from north to south?
Yeah,
at some point?
First I just want to take a look at the wind velocity here just to see where that circulation is. So this is mainly southeast of the city of Adams over toward New Chester, eventually be heading up toward Westfield. So again, if you are in that area, and this is heading a little more east than northeast than it was earlier. So if we do a storm track on this from this area here, and again at about 40 miles per hour, this would take it mainly rural areas of central Adams County and northern portions of Marquette County before 5:30 p.m. So again, this area here under a confirmed trees and power lines down near, and what was that, James, again?
Near Mauston.
Okay, Mile Bluff Medical Center near Mauston. So again, that just adds to what we had before of the damage in the hospital area around Mauston. So we've got this warning currently in effect. Let's go to I'm going to go farther to the south here. And
yeah, if we can go further to the south and hold there for just a second, Gary, because we do have these tornado warnings, but this is also just starting to get along the edge of Highway 12 and southwest of the Dells. And I know a lot of folks tuning in right now from the Dells and Baraboo area, a lot of folks possibly in town vacationing. It's summer, it's the middle of June. This line moving in very quickly. This is Sauk County right now, right along again, Highway 12 and the northern portion there, Highway or Interstate 90. This warning goes until 5:30, and we've seen an indication of possible rotation, but also again, high winds and that hail concern. So,
and Dana, we've got a live look from the Dells.
Okay, good.
This is I-90-94 there, so very dark. Do we know which direction this is looking? Okay, we don't know. So I-90-94 at Trout Road around the Dells there. So looking southward, but you can definitely see that storm that'll be moving from right to left on the screen there. So
yeah, and the other thing, I mean, looking at this, folks in these warned areas do not need to be driving right now. If your phone has gone off and you got the warning, you do need to get into a safe place. If you're at your home, get to the basement, the innermost room. If you are out and about, again, our streaming services, Facebook, I know folks get alerts on their phone. If you've caught that right now, you need to get to the innermost room in whatever location you're at. And if you're out on the road and you pulled over when you got the alert, you need to get into a structure, a sturdy structure, or get as low as possible. Buckle up and get into a ditch and get as low as you can. This tornado warning, we're going to bounce back further north right now because we've had reports of significant damage coming from this storm in the Mauston area. So the northern most warning in our area in southern Adams County. This is just outside of Adams, right along Highway 13. We now have downstream warnings into Marquette County. So this area already has proof or the history of producing quite a bit of damage. So folks in Westfield, right along Interstate 39, and then stretching off to the east, do need to seek shelter. So this is the latest one right now for us for Marquette County. That goes until 6 o'clock. It looks like we have something else popping up to the north, Gary.
Yeah, actually to the south. Sure. This is now for Columbia County. This is basically for the activity that is moving through the Baraboo, or very close to the Baraboo area. So this now includes the city of Portage, basically from Poinet northward. So if you are anywhere along I-39, 90, 94 at that interchange and to the north and west, that area, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. And let me just recenter the map here. This is in effect until 6 p.m. And again, straight line winds and hail, the main threats, but tornado possible. The National Weather Service tags some of these severe thunderstorms when the potential is there that they could eventually produce a tornado. So that bears some watching. And that, again, that is the northern portion of Columbia County.
And can we leave this here for just a second, Gary, because the leading edge of this right now, right along Highway 12 and Interstate 90. So right along the Dells and Baraboo right now. So it is likely getting very dark in this area, likely seeing those winds pick up quite a bit. Folks in this area do need to get away from any windows or exterior walls and into that innermost room, because we've had those indications of a tornado, and we've also had other severe weather indications. So running through these again, the center of your basement, absolutely the best location, getting as low as possible and away from those exterior walls. But if you don't have a basement, an interior room or a closet or even a bathroom on the lowest floor, also a good option. Cover yourself with pillows, cushions, blanket, or even wearing a helmet, anything to protect yourself and protect your head, because we're seeing high winds even in the areas where we haven't seen that rotation signature pop up. And if you are in a mobile home right now, if you are camping outside, you need to seek shelter in a nearby building. And I've been stressing this, a structure, not just a wooden building, but something made out of brick, something more sturdy. That's the kind of building that you should be getting into right now, because we are seeing the high winds come through. Looking at our warnings, again, this is right along Highway 12, close to Baraboo and the Dells. This tornado warning now extending through Sauk County, and a severe thunderstorm warning now for Portage and areas to the east. This tornado warning goes until 5:30, so another 15 minutes, but it has quickly progressed from Loganville right along 136 close to Baraboo right now. So those winds really ripping into the area. So we're seeing those high winds come through and also the possibility for some hail and heavy rainfall.
Dana, just the latest update from the National Weather Service. They're saying severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near West Baraboo, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. That was as of 5:14, so just a couple of minutes ago. We're not seeing the tight wind circulation that we were seeing in some of these other storms right now. I would think this is probably more of a straight line wind threat at this point, especially up through the Dells. They probably have had some strong winds roll through there. These will be heading eastward toward Portage and Partyville, as far north as Packwaukee, and probably as far south as Poinnette. So I would be prepared at least for straight line winds. But again, the area, at least parts of Sauk County, under a tornado warning right now, and that warning is in effect, I believe, until 5:30.
Yeah.
So let's, we got our 511 map here, and what are we seeing?
I believe this is still close to, it's a little outside the Tomah area. Again, the interstate there just outside of Tomah is closed right now due to a semi that flipped over. So we're...
Yeah, Highway 21 also closed. Again, that is from that tornado that went through the Tomah area and then into the area up around just to the, right around Chester and just to the west of Necedah. So again, that is all from the damage that went through earlier. That storm has passed through that area, but we are still watching the southern portion of the line of storms. Tornado warning for Sauk County. We've got the tornado warning for parts of Adams and northern portions of Marquette County. That is from the cell that went through Elroy. Mauston caused some damage there. And now Weather Service saying storm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northwest of Westfield. So that is for this storm that's moving into Marquette County. And let's see.
So this is just west of 39 right now, Westfield, right along the interstate. So 7 miles west of Highway 39.
I'm going to let you take it over here. I'm going to need to switch my batteries out here real quick.
Sure. So this, again, a downstream tornado warning for us extending along 39 in Marquette County. This is the same system that did bring quite a bit of damage to the Mauston area, moving just along Highway 13 in Adams into the southern portion of Adams County and now moving into Marquette County. So right along 39 close to Westfield right now, that's where the leading edge is. That's where we're seeing the high winds and possible rotation just west of Westfield. But everyone further off to the east, Tomah included in that, and Highway 22 need to make sure that they seek shelter immediately right now. And then we have another tornado warning, I believe.
We have a warning coming in. Just one quick thing. The northern portion of Marquette County, National Weather Service confirmed, or really concerned about straight line winds to 80 miles per hour, and that would be taking it through the Westfield area. So farther to the south now, it looks like we have a new tornado warning that'll be coming in for parts of Iowa County. Still waiting for that to come in. My producer was telling me that, but we do not have the latest information on that. It'll be coming out very shortly. But that would probably be for areas north of Dodgeville would be my guess. Again, I'm not seeing anything directly from the National Weather Service right now, but we should have a tornado warning coming out for the northern portion of Iowa County very shortly. And so we'll get on the air with that. Right now,
Right now, the Baraboo area, again, under a tornado warning that extends up through the Dells for us, and areas downstream of that now under severe thunderstorm warning. So this is right on the edge of Dane County right now. Folks in Dane County, we've been talking about it we've been on the air for the last hour and 20 minutes, actually, talking about this moving into Dane County as we get closer to about 6 o'clock. So we are at that point where folks in Dane County and looking ahead into Greene County need to start to prepare for this line to build in. We're seeing possible rotation, but also
look at the winds.
Exactly. Straight line winds coming through, and we all know all too well, not just from what we saw on Monday, but just in the last few years, straight line winds can cause significant damage, even as much damage as a small hurricane coming through. So you need to keep that in mind. These warnings might not just be a tornado on the ground, but these straight line winds causing significant damage as they come through as well. So this is just west of Westfield, just along the edge of 39, and you can see those winds just popping for us.
Yeah,
Gary.
so if you are anywhere north of Highway 82, be prepared for very strong straight line winds coming in from the west. The tornado threat might be a little bit higher, farther to the north toward Westfield, but Oxford, even as far east as Montello, be prepared for very strong straight line winds and maybe even a possible tornado as well. So again, this is it's not just the tornadoes. It's also straight line winds. It's also hail. And I'm just looking at the wind velocities kind of along the line, not seeing much in the way of strong circulations, which is good news. Again, the northern portion of that line, just as we were talking about maybe a half hour ago, how that northern portion, and I'll put the wider radar view in motion here so you can get a better idea. This line of storms basically has solidified. So now the high wind threat is basically from the Dells northward into central Wisconsin heading toward the Fox Valley. So this area here really has a much higher risk of straight line winds. The tornado threat might be a little higher farther south along the line, but even there the line is starting to solidify a little more. That doesn't mean that you can't have tornadoes. In fact, tornadoes that occur in a line of storms like this happen much more quickly, so they don't last as long, and they're harder to detect. It looks like we have a new tornado warning. This is for the northeastern portion of Sauk County. So we'll go to that here for just a second, and I've got a bunch of different. And it looks like they're also going to extend the tornado warning into northern portions of Green Lake County as well. So let's take a look here. This is. Let's see, this is northeastern Sauk County, and that looks like that's just an extension of that warning. This is until 5:45. So this would include Baraboo, areas south of the Dells.
So this extends past this area now.
Yeah, so basically Baraboo, anywhere north of Prairie du Sac through Baraboo and as far north as Wisconsin Dells under a tornado warning now. That will be until, looks like, this one says 5:30. Looks like a new warning will be coming out until 5:45. And yeah, this includes Reedsburg, Lake Delton, West Baraboo. So
this is a shortening of it, right, Gary?
No, this is actually looks like a new warning that may be coming out. Again, this area right here would be the area under the warning, but we have not gotten it yet from the National Weather Service. We've gotten a text, but we don't have the actual warning popping up on the map. So
can you zoom out really quickly also, Gary, because we're at about 5:23 right now. So I do want to take a quick look at the warnings.
Let's look at that overall. We'll look at the overall warnings here.
There, yes. So this gives us a clear, we're going to pull off the radar for a second and give a clear picture of where our warnings are at right now. So these red spots, those are tornado warnings extending from Adams County into Marquette County and also into Sauk County right now.
I'll actually pop them up on here, Dana, just so you get an idea. So we have the warning for Sauk County, that now until 5:45. So that is, again, pretty much the same area that was under the warning. So they've just extended it.
They've extended it now, yes. So this is in Baraboo included, 12. Looking up into the southern portion of Adams County, that goes until 5:30 for that section. But there are downstream warnings. So you look next door until 5:45 for New Chester, and then into Marquette County, that goes until 6 o'clock.
And
so
there will be
downstream.
National Weather Service looks like they will properly extend that warning. Looks like actually they decided. Okay.
They just
but here's the thing that you just saw the new warning pop up. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Green Lake County. Take a look at what this says. Destructive threat. Your emergency alert on your phones are probably going off right now because this is for destructive straight line winds of 80 miles per hour or greater, hurricane force or greater, hurricane force is 75 miles an hour. Also the potential that the storm could produce a tornado. So this is a high-end severe thunderstorm warning that will also set off your phone alerts too.
Yeah, this is something just within the last year or two, Gary, of focusing in on that threat that we've been talking about. You have tornado warnings, but there's also the possibility to have significant damage from straight line winds. So this does include Green Lake until 6:15.
So I'm going to go to the radar there so you can see.
So we can see. I'll step off to the side if you want to slide it over for us.
Yeah.
So again, just east of Princeton for us, and again in Green Lake County.
And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to save this for a second, and I'm going to loop the radar so you can see how quickly these storms are moving in from west to east. So you can see what we're watching, the area around New Chester, south of Wautoma. That's an area that is probably producing some very strong straight line winds, and you can see this. We put the velocity in motion as well.
Yeah, that bright color popping up for us, that's the area that we're talking about when we're talking about straight line winds. When we see green and red mixing, that's a good indication of rotation. But that brighter color outside of New Chester,
take a look at some of those winds. Yeah,
where we have the possibility.
Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's 104 mile an hour winds at the ground.
No, but
when we start seeing signatures like this, yeah, that catches your attention.
Absolutely. You said it earlier, Gary, possibility for a weak hurricane at this point with that destructive level of a severe thunderstorm warning. So a land hurricane passing through right now, essentially for southern Adams into Marquette and then Green Lake County. So this is right along Interstate 39, tornado warnings extending into Marquette County, and then a severe thunderstorm warning now for Green Lake County. This is moving through very quickly. So if you're in the warned area, for the very eastern edge of these warned areas, you might think things are still just a little too far off to the west. Things are moving through in 10 to 15 minutes, which is just not a lot of time when it comes to getting you and your family into your safe spot. So you do need to migrate to that area and get into the lowest location that you can, away from exterior walls and away from any windows. So bouncing through these warnings yet again towards Baraboo and just south of the Dells along 12 in Sauk County, a tornado warning until 5:30. Moving further north, including New Chester, the southern portion of Adams County, a tornado warning until 5:45 now. Next to that, as this line moves across the county line, a tornado warning for Marquette County until 6 o'clock. And then we do to the east of that, a severe thunderstorm warning, our latest warning coming through for Green Lake. It goes until 6:15, but the threat there again could be considerable damage, destructive damage for us. So the tornado possible, but also dealing with that concern for straight line wind damage. In Columbia County, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock. A tornado is possible, but also the concern for straight line winds along with that. This line extending right now for areas mainly west of Dane County, but we are right along that line, and this is lining up with our forecast.
And the other thing too that I just want to mention, those people in western portions of Grant County, no warnings for you yet, but just out to the west, tornado warning in effect for Clayton County until 6 p.m. So that is just to the west of Prairie du Chien in Guttenberg, Iowa, that area under a tornado warning, and that is for storm near Strawberry Point, moving to the northeast very rapidly, 55 miles an hour. So that would be taking it into the areas south of Prairie du Chien. This is over toward the western portions of Grant County. You may be facing a severe thunderstorm or tornado threat very, very soon.
And you said this earlier, Gary, but this is all along a cold front that is moving through southern Wisconsin, moving through the state, really. And as this line continues to pull east, we're just not going to call the threat off until all of this clears up, because there's still some storms off to the west for us right now. Even though there aren't warnings off to the western parts of the Camp Douglas area, we still do have those storms. So this line all the way up towards Wausau and extending down through Sauk County, tornado warnings almost lining up perfectly right along 39. In front of that, we have severe thunderstorm warnings extending now through Green Lake, parts of Columbia and Sauk counties with that. And some of these severe thunderstorm warnings include that destructive tag, because the concern is for a tornado quickly to spin up. When we have these storms line up in a line, a QLCS, that's what we call them. When they're in a line like this, there's a better chance to have things spin up very quickly, and we don't see it on our radar scan. So we want folks within these warned areas to seek shelter because we might not see that perfect rotation coming through with enough time to actually issue a tornado warning. We have a tornado watch this evening extending throughout southern Wisconsin. As we look ahead to the next 3 hours, this line is going to continue to build east. Areas north of the Dells likely going to deal with that bow coming through. Higher winds along with that, similar to what we're seeing right now in Marquette and
Dana,
Green Lake County.
I'm going to interrupt you here. First of all,
Sure.
Getting reports of multiple trees and branches down in Westfield in Marquette County. That is from that storm up to the north here. And that's the storm that we're seeing moving through the basically the central portion of Marquette County. So right around Westfield, if we look at the wind velocity here, you can see there's very strong winds. They are actually swept through Westfield, now are through Montello and heading over toward Princeton. And again, there are severe thunderstorm warning for destructive 80-mile-per-hour winds for Green Lake County. We now, farther to the south, have a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is closer to the Madison area. And that is this warning right here. We'll center this up. This is a severe thunderstorm warning effective until 6:15. This is for southern portions of Columbia County, northern portions of Dane County, as well as northeastern Iowa and southern Sauk County. This is for straight line winds of 60 miles per hour, some possible hail, as well as the potential that the storm could produce a tornado at some point.
Yeah, the potential is there. This line's building into a very, very warm and humid environment, and the timing for this lining up right with our forecast and what we've been keeping a close eye on. I'm hearing we have a DOT cam on outside of the Dells in Sauk County. If we can take that to take a closer look. Looking north right now on 90, 94 near
so
County A,
heavy rain
you
there.
can see the significant rain coming through, and I can't preach this enough. I know these folks, if they're still driving, probably not listening in, because you should not be driving in this right now. Not only is visibility a concern, but just the winds coming through right now a concern. We already had reports close to Toma of a semi getting blown over. So the wind coming through does need to be taken very seriously. We have the threat for tornadoes. We have the threat for high wind. We have the threat for hail. Alliant Energy right now is reporting over 4,300 power outages for us, extending throughout southern Wisconsin along this line. And frankly, as it continues to move east, I would not be surprised to see that number grow again, because we are dealing with high winds and we're going to continue to deal with high winds coming through. That threat is not going to back off as this continues to build, frankly, closer to the Madison area.
And you know, Dana, you make a good point about driving in this. I would say if you are in Green Lake County, if you are in Columbia County, if you are in Dane County, if you are in the eastern portion of Iowa County, these are areas where if you're not, if you're at home and thinking of going out, you got to make a trip to the grocery store or something, wait until after the line of storms passes through. If you're in your car, you're probably not watching us. But if you're at home and deciding to go out and it's not raining where you're at, and you think, okay, well, I might have time to make it, that's where you get into trouble. So again, you probably want to wait until this line of storms passes through, because it's producing straight line winds. It has had a history of producing tornadoes, probably producing some very heavy rain. In fact, we'll take a quick look here just to see what kind of rain this is producing here. And this is just, this is over the last 6 hours. And so you can see there are some swaths that may have picked up an inch or two of rain over toward Camp Douglas. So again, this is just over the last 6 hours. If we check out the rainfall amounts there, so again, somewhere between about an inch and maybe 2 inches of rain. These storms are moving pretty quickly, so that's
heavy rainfall.
Yep,
but it
and it looks like we have another tornado warning coming out. This one is for Columbia County. So let's go to that here. Thank you, Charlotte. Tornado warning, northwestern Columbia County. That is for, that's this area that's flashing here. That's the new warning coming in.
So Portage included in this latest warning.
And so, yeah, that warning right there till 6:15 for a possible tornado near Baraboo, moving northeast at 60 miles an hour.
So this is the area where we're seeing that possible rotation. Again, the latest warning extending through the northern portion of Columbia County, Portage included in this. Looking at our velocity, there's possible rotation near Baraboo, but the
moving
concern,
northeast at 60 miles an hour.
So that's fast.
This shows you
That's
where it'll
fast.
be moving over the next hour.
Looking ahead to Fort Winnebago at about 5:51, Buffalo before 6 o'clock, and then just past 6 o'clock, we're near Montello.
Yeah, Portage, you're like within the next 10 minutes, but even, as far northeast as Montello, within an hour. So that storm is really clipping out.
It is moving very quickly, and again, 10, 15 minutes is just not a lot of time when it comes to getting your family into that safe spot, especially if you're getting this alert and you are outside right now, coming through on your phone. You need to get to a safe structure. So this is a warning that extends into Columbia County, right really where the interstate splits for us, including just outside of Partyville and Portage. We're now seeing this pull through the Dells, but Baraboo's still along this line where we're dealing with a heavier rainfall. A severe thunderstorm warning for Columbia, Dane, Iowa, and Sauk County. So now we're talking about Dane County. This lines up with things starting to move into Dane County right along.
Does not include the city of Madison.
It does not.
Though,
It does
right?
not. No, but we're talking about it moving into Dane County. A severe thunderstorm warning for Green Lake. That wording, again, the threat here, a possibility for destructive winds. There's the threat for a tornado also to develop, but even the straight line winds coming through with this line specifically for parts of Marquette into Green Lake County, we're seeing significant wind. Our latest tornado warning in a string of warnings over the last hour and a half. This is for Columbia County, Portage included in this, and this is going to be right over downtown Portage in about 10 minutes or so. There's a possibility for some rotation just northeast of Baraboo. That's what we're keeping an eye on, and it's likely going to, again, continue northeast at about 60 miles an hour, so moving very quickly. Up to the north, the tornado warning Marquette County until 6 o'clock. Yes, Gary?
No, I was just going to say, I just wanted to highlight the warning to the north, and then also the one farther out to the west for Sauk County. So we have three tornado warnings and a couple of high-end severe thunderstorm warnings.
High-end severe thunderstorm warnings. This Sauk County tornado warning does go for about another 10 minutes.
And getting reports of multiple trees down with 60 to 70 mile per hour estimated winds from amateur radio reports in Westfield. So again, that lines up with the storms that have been moving through the northern portions of the area. Again, up toward Westfield. That area under a tornado warning. It may be straight line winds, it may be a tornado, but still, that is just has been a nasty cell. It has had a history of producing tornadoes, and now is producing straight line winds. Looks like the strongest winds have shifted to the north and east, even of Princeton, but we may see maybe a little bit of a wind circulation trying to develop south of Montello. So again, tornado and a high wind threat for Marquette and Green Lake County. And
I think we have a picture, Gary.
Yep.
It sounds like we have a picture of an overturned truck. This is just outside of the Mauston area.
And that's from the same storm. That's now moving
storm
through Marquette and Green Lake County. So that just shows you how quickly this storm has moved.
And this is not our first report of an overturned tractor trailer.
Let's do this. Let's just take a look at the storm reports that we've received so far. And I mean, they're just starting to come in, but you can see, none of the tornado reports have necessarily been confirmed. I mean, right now they're listed as high wind reports, but you can see them from around Camp Douglas all the way through Juneau and Adams counties, and now up toward Wautoma and Waushara County, and the northern portion of Marquette County, right around Westfield. Let's see what the report is there. Again, that is multiple trees, and we were just telling you about that, about 60 to 70 mile per hour estimated winds from amateur radio reports in and around Westfield. So that's where the storms are. Let's do a quick overview too here of the warnings that are currently in effect. And again, you can see the reds are tornado warnings. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings, and then the lighter, and actually you can see a bunch of different colors. We'll show you why. The reds, obviously tornado warnings. That includes Sauk County. That includes Columbia County till 6:15, northern portions of Marquette County until 6 p.m. and until 5:45, just a few more minutes for the eastern portion of Adams County. We have a very high-end severe thunderstorm warning. That is for all of, or most of Green Lake County until 6:15. That is for straight line winds to 80 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning for winds to 70 miles per hour over the southern portions of Marquette County. And
Gary,
then
I think a tornado warning just popped up. Another new one just popped up for us. Gary.
and that is for, yes, for Columbia and Sauk. And so let's check that there.
So,
yeah, that's the southern portion of Columbia County and the far southern portion of Sauk County. Tornado warning for a possible tornado near Prairie du Sac. So let's go to the radar here and see where that storm is. And that would be this storm cell right here, right around Prairie du Sac. We take a look at the wind velocity here first. So yeah, we're starting to see some wind circulation right around Prairie du Sac. That's, you can see the strong winds here. The broad rotation is just north of Prairie du Sac, right along Highway 78, the hospital right over here. So again, it's just past there. And then also another circulation just to the southwest of where the Merrimack Ferry crosses. So again, this tracking northeast into parts of Columbia County. We'll check the debris signature here. Not seeing much in the way of anything being lofted yet, but that does bear some watching because the wind velocity appears to be strongest. Actually, I would say just northeast of Prairie du Sac. This area right over here where the reds and greens come together. We'll do a quick query on this just to take a look at the winds right now. And because this is being monitored from the National Weather Service radar in Sullivan, so they're showing winds blowing away from the radar at about 49 miles an hour, away from about 32 and 15. So most of this is basically strong winds that are blowing on the northern portion of the circulation. We've got some, this is from Mauston, some of the street lights knocked down there by strong winds. This is I believe Highway 82 in Mauston there. So obviously traffic, the power is out there, some of the street lights down. So again, that is from earlier today. That storm now is in Marquette and Green Lake counties. Now we have the new storm that is in parts of right around Prairie du Sac and Merrimack.
And that picture also a great reminder, we're dealing with power outages right now already, extending throughout the area, and some power outages still from Monday. Folks need to be careful as we look ahead to later in this evening driving around, and also dealing with water on the roadways, because we have seen some heavier rainfall pass through quickly, but it has passed through.
Yeah, this is something too. I want to show the power outage index. This is based on the severe weather that has gone through and the likelihood that it has produced power outages. These are not actual power outages, but this is kind of a predictive thing to kind of show you where power outages are most likely. The darker the shading, obviously, and you can see that's where you can tell right where that tornado passed through from around just south of Toma through Camp Douglas, and then also the cell that went through Mauston, the southern portion of Juneau County. So that right now, that's the area that there probably are some power outages there. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are happening.
But it does line up pretty closely to the power outage map we had up just a little bit ago with Alliant Energy. It lined up pretty closely. So looking back, here's a quick look at our current warnings. We'll pull the radar off so we get a clearer picture right now. This latest tornado warning for Columbia and Sauk counties until 6:30.
That's for the southern portion of the county.
Southern portion. Looking to the northern portion of the county, a tornado warning until 6:15. The northern portion of Columbia County. Also a tornado warning in Sauk County, and for a few more minutes actually until 5:45. I want to take a live look right now actually at the Columbia-Sauk County line. So this is on I-90 right along this county line for Columbia and Sauk counties. It looks like we're seeing heavy rain and a dark sky. Again, I've said this a few times right now, but this is not what you want to be driving in. It looks like hail also now too, bouncing off the roads there. So we've had the hail signature popping up a few times. We're really talking about multiple threats with this line passing through. We've had confirmed reports of tornadoes on the ground. We've had signatures for tornadoes on the ground. So when we're talking about these warnings popping up, people do need to take these seriously. This is a dangerous line building in. It's not something that we see come through a lot. This is a look over the last 3 hours. So just 3 hours ago, we were on the western edge of Grant County. Our future future track really lining up with where things are right now. So as we look ahead to the next 3 hours, right at the edge of Dane County, and then as we get closer to about 6:30, 7 o'clock over downtown Madison and building into Jefferson County, once we get after 7 and then the eastern edge of the state. So continuing to build east, things breaking apart a little bit more for the southern portion of the state over the next 3 hours, but still bringing the threat for isolated tornadoes and still bringing the threat for hail mainly into the southern portion, so our area. Again, we still have several tornado warnings in effect for us. This
Dana,
is looking up to the north.
I'm just going to clear this out here real quick so it's easier to keep track because some of these storms have moved on. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just doing a quick little maintenance here so it'll make it easier that we can go back to the warnings that we have there. So maybe if we can go to that DOT camera again.
If we can pull up the DOT cam, that would be, it's a great reminder because looking at that opportunity or looking at that line, this is the Merrimack North Shore, and you can see A, not a lot, B, the wind that is blowing the rain through. We are dealing with significant straight line wind in some area, even areas where we're not as concerned about rotation and a tornado threat. That straight line wind is just ripping through. The camera's shaking. We've seen some DOT images of trees blowing in the wind, and that's why we're concerned with this line of dealing with more power outages. We've already had reports there. We got to clear a little bit of a break in the rain. You can see a little bit of branches and debris on the road right now. So this, again, the North Shore, Merrimack, we're dealing with high wind with this area. So Gary was taking a quick opportunity to clear things out because
I just want to show the areas that are more at risk right now. We still have 3 tornado warnings, one for far northeastern portions of Marquette County, and that is, and it looks like that has actually just been canceled early. That storm has moved more in, the winds have moved more into Green Lake County, so we'll put that in here too. So here's what we have. I'll go back to the warnings. We have tornado warning. This is for the southern portion of Columbia County and the far eastern portion of Sauk County. That is until 6:30. Farther to the north, we have a tornado warning until 6:15. This is for the northern portion of Sauk County. This includes Poinnette, Portage, over toward Cambria, just west of Cambria, Friesland there. So that warning there. Farther to the north, we have the severe thunderstorm warning for straight line winds to 80 miles per hour. That is for Green Lake County. And then farther to the south, we do have the severe thunderstorm warning now for the northern portion of Dane County. The Columbia County portion of that has been changed to a tornado warning. This is for the northern portion of Dane County. That is for winds of 70 miles per hour. And again, that's south of Prairie to Sauk, north of, Wanakee to Mauston, that area there, under a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15. So those are the latest warnings that we have right now. We put the radar into motion here, and let's see if we can get this to update. Trying to ask the radar to do a bunch of different things here at the same time. Right now, you can see, and I'm just going to roll the radar here so you get an idea of where this line of storms is heading. Basically, it's passed through the Dells area, running through central portions of Marquette County, just to the west of Princeton, farther south, approaching Lodi, Portage, Poinnette right over here. You're probably getting some strong winds right now. And then farther to the south and west, you can see additional developments starting to take place over the western portion of Dane County. And that does bear a little bit of watching because when you, as I mentioned before, you get these lines of storms, the wind damage potential is higher. When you start seeing these individual cells pop up, that's where the tornado threat is a little bit higher. And so, again, starting to see storms fire pretty quickly now across Lafayette and southwestern portions of Dane County. No warnings in effect for that, but again, that does bear some watching over the next couple of hours as those storms head toward Madison and eventually Dodgeville, Darlington, up toward, say, Albany, Belleville, Brooklyn. Those areas may be affected by severe weather probably within the next hour or so.
No warnings right now, but we do still have that tornado watch in effect throughout southern Wisconsin. That goes until 10 o'clock as this line does build in, because as Gary mentioned, these cells that are very separate have an elevated chance for producing producing a tornado, a higher risk for producing a tornado, whereas areas to the north that are in a tighter bow and a tighter line, we have a better risk for high winds coming through.
So the deforest in the path.
Yes, I understand everyone streaming and asking questions. If you are east of this line, yes. The answer is yes. You are in the line for the storm path to build in. Even if you're not in a warning right now, you're under a tornado watch. If you're dealing with this line and you are under a warning right now, you need to be in your safe spot, because we are dealing with high winds, possible tornado and high hail. So these warnings need to be taken seriously. And then areas downstream, while you might not be in a warning yet, you need to have your phone ready to go. That way, if an alert is issued, then you can move and get going. So
just to let
yes.
you know, we're starting to get some reports of some strong winds through Grant County around Glen Haven, estimated wind gusts of about 50 miles per hour. And again, that is from the southern portion of this line of storms where these individual cells are starting to pop up. So this is something that we're going to have to watch out for the potential for another round of severe weather for parts of Grant County into, say, Richland and southern portions of Sauk County over the next hour or so.
yeah, can we put the future track loop up real quick too, Gary? As folks were asking, what does come next? When does this line build in? You can see as we look ahead to the next few hours, this continues to build east and stay strong as it does do so. This thing's likely not really weakening for us in the atmosphere until it gets cooler outside, until we get closer to sunset. And we're still a few hours away from that. It is still hot and humid outside in front of this line as it builds in. So as we look ahead to Rock County, Jefferson County, Eastern Dane County, still building.
I was going to do something here just to give you an idea of the temperatures here. So these are our current temperatures. And you can see how once that line of storms moves through, those temperatures drop off quite a bit. La Crosse has already dropped into the middle 60s, while Janesville's at 93, Madison 93. That would tie a record for today, by the way. Milwaukee 94, 95. So that's one thing to look at. The other thing to look at is the dew point temperatures. And you can see out ahead of that line of storms, right where the strongest storms are developing, those dew point temperatures are right around or between about 70 and 75. So again, this is where all that moisture is kind of coming together to form this line of storms. And then once the line of storms goes through, and I'm just going to put our winds on here just to give you an idea. Let's see if I have that on here. Here we go. The wind particles. Okay. Let me just show you this real quick. So here's winds out of the south. Notice the wind shift to the west. So once the line of storms comes through, that's where the severe weather threat really starts to ramp down. So
wrap up. It sounds like we might have a live video opportunity for us right now.
And where is this here? Okay, we're seeing a telephone pole and power lines down. Okay. Oh, it looks like a semi way in the distance there. That's along I-90-94. So that's you can kind of. It's I'm not sure which direction we're looking at here, but again, this is this is near Oakdale. So again, that's some of the damage that has been occurring out in the area around Oakdale. This is from a tornado that moved from Toma into Oakdale and then into western portions of Juneau County. And then also a second tornado around the Mauston area caused some damage near the hospital there. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning here. This is farther to the north here.
Is it a severe thunderstorm warning or?
Yeah, this one right here. I mean, we got so many different warnings that are going in. So I'm just going to give you a little closer view here. This warning, this includes southern portions of Green Lake County, northeastern Columbia County, southern Marquette County, and northwestern Dodge County. So this is the area around Cambria, Friesland. Again, straight line winds to 60 miles per hour, hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and the possibility that the storm could eventually produce a tornado. So again, this is basically south of the area of strong winds that went through areas north of Markesan and Westfield, but this is the northern portion of that line of storms that has tornado warnings farther to the south. So maybe it's, let's just go back here really quickly and look at all the warnings that we have in effect, and there are a lot of them.
Yeah, if we could take a broader look at all of those.
Yeah, so
again.
these are all the and you can see they extend up into parts of central Wisconsin. Those red boxes are tornado warnings. We have the tornado warnings for parts of Columbia County as well as Sauk County, although that storm should be moving out of Sauk County pretty quickly. To the southwest, no warnings right now, but again, those storms are starting to ramp up across Grant County, Lafayette County, Dodge County. So here are the latest warnings. Let's give you a quick update here. This would be tornado warning for southern portions of Columbia County, far eastern portions of Sauk County until 6:30. Tornado warning for the northern portion of Columbia County. That's over toward Portage and Partyville. That warning in effect until 6:15. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, northern Dane County and parts of eastern Sauk County. That warning and far southern portions of Columbia County, that is until 6:15. Newest severe thunderstorm warning till 6:30. This is for northeastern Columbia County, far northwestern Dodge County, northwest of Beaver Dam, southern portions of Marquette and Green Lake counties. And then farther to the north, we have that severe thunderstorm warning for northern portions of Green Lake County. That warning has been changed now to winds of 60 miles per hour rather than 80 miles per hour. And then central portions of Marquette County, severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock or another few minutes. So that kind of gives you an overview of where all the warnings are right now. Let's go back and take a look at the radar here, especially across the area that might have a possible tornado, and this would be much of Columbia County. So we'll start here. Let's take a look here. This is, let's look at the wind velocity first here. So it looks like some strong winds have already moved through the Lake Wisconsin area. So the area up around, let's say, in this area here, up east of Lake Wisconsin, over toward Poynette, east of Portage, that's where these strong winds are heading. So that's why that new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the northeastern portion of Columbia County. The tornado threat has been down around the Prairie to Sauk, Merrimack area. Not seeing as significant of wind circulation even as we did about 10 or 15 minutes ago. We'll zoom in on that area. And yeah, just not seeing much in the way of wind circulation. However, the National Weather Service still thinks it's the potential is there that this storm could possibly produce a tornado. So they are keeping that under a tornado warning. I'm just trying to look at the National Weather Service chat here, and looks like that has just gone out, of course. So I'm going to have to switch to another computer here real quick just to see if there. It looks like it's just updated.
Chat will take
here.
a second to
update. Yeah. There's just so many people on here, emergency managers, media. So we are watching the area again. Central portions of Columbia County right now seem to be where the greatest severe weather threat is, and it's probably more for straight line winds than anything else. That would be the area right around Poynette, Portage, and then eventually heading into northeastern portions of Columbia County. So these are probably strong straight line winds, a broad wind circulation, a possibility there, but not much in the way of a tight circulation. However, that area is under a tornado warning for right now.
And that extends, again, this is in Columbia County right now, Lake Wisconsin, Poynette included in that, stretching off to the east. This goes until 6:30. So right now we are at 5:57. Another 30 minutes or so, and that straight line wind damage is a really big concern with this line that's been passing through. We've seen some really strong reports or really strong signatures on our velocity popping up of winds possibly in that 70 mile per hour range. A tornado warning also for Columbia County. Because of the straight line winds, I want to bounce over to take a look at the power outages right now. This is a look at Alliant Energy. We have over 16,000 customers right now without power. It looks like Green Lake and Juneau counties, really the highest number there coming in from those two counties, which makes sense because that lines up, including Marquette County, with the area that we are dealing with those high winds passing through and where we saw that significant tornado on the ground just outside of Toma. So again, over 16,000 customers without power right now from Alliant Energy due to this line building in. The line right now, or where we're keeping a close eye on outside of Prairie du Sac and heading towards Poinnette, this tornado warning goes until 6:30. Our severe thunderstorm warning, extending outside of that for Columbia, Dane, and Sauk County. So the very northern portion of Dane County, stretching from Mazo up through Wanakee, included in that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15. Stretching a little further north now, a tornado warning until 6:30 for Columbia and the edge of Sauk County. We've seen a little bit of a signature for some radar rotation. Also seen that hail signature pop up towards Lake Wisconsin, but the primary concern is still that straight line winds. The straight line winds.
I'm just going to take a look at hail there.
Hail, yeah.
So yeah, it's right now we're not seeing huge hail, but we're seeing at least hail some areas up to about the size of a quarter. That would be up around Lake Wisconsin, that area here. Let me just do another quick check here. So yeah, hail up to about 1 inch in diameter, which is about the size of a quarter, and that would be in the central portion of Columbia County. We're also, if we take a look too at what we call the shear track, this shows us where we're seeing those wind rotations over the last couple of hours. And you can clearly see the activity, a couple different things. First of all, the northern parts of the area coming out of Mauston and then moving almost due east across Juneau and Adams counties through central portions of Marquette County over to, in fact, tell you what, why don't you go to camera 4 here, and Dana can point this out while I run the radar here. So you can see that area of rotation, and then farther to the south, this is where we're seeing the activity right now, from north of Prairie du Sac, now approaching Portage. That's the area of rotation that's moving, at least right now, through the central portion of Columbia County. So those are that's why there's tornado warnings in effect for that area. But from a radar standpoint, there's also been some heavy rain. That's another thing we want to just take a quick look at here. This would be radar rainfall estimates over the last 6 hours, and it looks like this is having a hard time updating. Farther to the west, most of the rain has been in the order of about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain because of the fast movement of the storms. Let's see if we can get here. This might give us a little better update. This is
you can see pockets in there, though, where there are isolated areas where there is that heavier rainfall, and then other areas where we're not seeing that accumulation climb quite as much. But these isolated pockets have seen it come through, not in a heavy line. Sometimes we see a big swath, an area picking up a lot of rain, but right now it just seems more like isolated with some of these cells bringing in heavier rainfall than others.
And some of them too. I mean, if you look at some of the rainfall rates from these, almost 2 inches an hour from the cell just to the west of Prairie du Sac. So again, even after the severe weather moves through, you're still going to be dealing with the potential for some heavy rain.
Heavy rainfall and that possibility for winds and hail also. For those of you just joining us, I know it's 6 o'clock. We have been wall to wall for the last 2 hours straight with tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings covering our area right now. This line just slicing through central and southern Wisconsin. So these tornado warnings extending through Columbia and Sauk County. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the northwest portion of Dane County into Marquette and Green Lake counties, also Columbia County included in that. The rest of the area, this bright yellow color, a tornado watch for us until 10 o'clock. So even areas that are not dealing with a warning right now, you need to be aware that this line is going to continue to move east. So we'll bounce through these in order, going from south to north. The northwest portion of Dane County, really from Mazo to Wanakee right now, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for another 15 minutes. The threat there, considerable wind, also hail and possible tornado. Just north of that, a tornado warning for Columbia and Sauk counties until 6:30. We've seen possible rotation there, but the primary concern seems to be straight line winds with that. Just to the north, the northern portion of Columbia County, another tornado warning in effect until 6:15. Again, radar indicated rotation, but also really focusing on that concern for straight line wind damage. Just north of that, we go into parts of Marquette, Green Lake, Columbia, and Dodge counties. That severe thunderstorm warning, bringing in, again, high winds for us. The rest of the area, there we go, as we slide it over, a tornado possible with it. That's been the wording a lot with our severe thunderstorm warnings, because we continue to see these quick spin ups or the possibility for a quick spin up forming along these lines that might happen faster then a warning can be issued. This severe thunderstorm warning, this new one for Green Lake until 6:15, so the northern portion of Green Lake. Notice these wind speeds, 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. So while some areas might not be under a tornado warning, that straight-line wind damage can still cause significant damage for us. We're also dealing with hail. We've seen some hail signatures slicing through already for parts of Juneau, Adams counties and Richland and Sauk counties, and that hail signature could be bringing some damaging hail to the area as well. The line currently just entering in the western edge of Dane County and going up through Sauk County right now. Taking a little closer look here at Portage or through Columbia County and Sauk County with this tornado warning. Again, just to the northern edge, northwest corner of Dane County and extending into Columbia County right now. Still in Baraboo, we're seeing that heavy rainfall, possibly seeing some light hail.
Look at that.
We could see it in Partyville.
Yeah, just south of Partyville, the potential for some strong straight line winds. Again, this is that cell that's moved out of the Prairie du Sac and Merrimack area across Lake Wisconsin and now is barreling toward the central and northeastern portions of Columbia County, north and east of Poinet. So as these storms, and this is very close to the front edge of the precipitation. So if it's not, you may experience the strong winds even before the rain reaches you in a situation like this. We'll do a quick query here on the wind velocities, and you can see some strong winds, over 50 miles per hour. This is being scanned from the National Weather Service radar in Sullivan, Wisconsin. So it's kind of the radar beam is coming in from the southeast. So the winds are actually blowing perpendicular to the radar beam, which means that it's underestimating the wind speeds. It's very difficult for the radar beam to indicate or to measure winds that are not blowing either directly toward or away from the radar. If they're blowing perpendicular, they're not measuring them as well. So again, when we see those bright colors start to show up, that's an indication that we're seeing some very strong winds, and these will be tracking over toward Doylestown, Randolph, eventually toward Cambria, Friesland, and the far northwestern portions of Dodge County, where a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect. So again, this area here in Columbia County under a tornado warning. Farther to the north, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, whether it's a tornado warning or a high-end severe thunderstorm warning, it really, from a preparedness standpoint, you need to prepare pretty much the same way.
Now that we're at the top of the hour too, Gary, I would like to take a look at our future track, if you wouldn't mind, very quickly. Sure. Because some folks just tuning in and asking what is the timing, what are we looking at through the rest of the evening. Again, so for right now it is 6:05. This line at the very northwest corner of Dane County. So looking over this is the backtrack over the last 3 hours. We are at the edge of Grant County, quickly moving through southwestern Wisconsin. Now this line is extended through central Columbia County and into northwestern Dane County. So our future track over the next 3 hours. This lines up really perfectly, actually, with where we're at right now. This is going to continue to build east.
Dana, I'm going to interrupt you here. We have a new tornado warning that is coming in. This is, we'll go back to this is actually for parts of Columbia, Dodge, Green Lake, Marquette, and into Fond du Lac County. That is this area that's flashing right here. And it's basically, it looks like it's going to be a replacement for some of the existing warnings that are in effect here. This is actually would be this one right here. So, I mean, we've got multiple tornado warnings. Let's take a look at this one here. This is for the activity that's in the northeastern portion of Columbia County. And that does include the Cambria, Friesland area, southern portions of Marquette and Green Lake counties, northwestern portions of Dodge County. So this basically replaces that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible with a tornado warning. And this is for the storms that are in the area around Portage. Weather Service is saying possible tornado near Partyville moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So if we look at the wind velocity here, we'll see, first of all, if we see any wind circulation, and there, right around here, the potential there for a wind circulation that could produce a tornado. If we look at the debris signature, just to see if any debris is being lofted, not seeing this. This is also at the front edge of the line of storms. So you can see the rain just getting in this area. So as you get a line of storms like this forming, the tornado threat gets a little bit higher sometimes on the front edge if you start to see a little bit of a circulation. Right now, we do not have any tornadoes on the ground from all these warnings. I mean, and you can see the stack of warnings that we've had so far this afternoon. No tornadoes on the ground right now. We have had tornado damage earlier in the Mauston and back into the area, parts of western Juneau County.
Confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now.
Yeah, right now. But again, it's, we've got several different tornado warnings. These boxes that are in red are all tornado warnings. And again, when you're dealing with a line of storms like this, a lot of times these storms can produce a tornado very quickly. So the Weather Service is trying to be a little proactive, putting the warnings out for possible tornadoes along that line of storms. The straight line wind might be a little bit greater threat, but the other thing that we're watching and does bear some concern are these cells that are starting to pop up ahead of the main line of storms, which stretches back toward the Wisconsin River. If there is a tornado threat over the next couple of hours, these cells might become the ones that are more of a tornado threat, which means areas southwest of Darlington, over toward just east of Mineral Point, and then into the southwestern portions of Dane County, south of Mount Horeb, over toward Verona. No warnings in effect for those areas, but it is something that does bear some watching.
It does bear some watching, and we keep preaching this. Again, we're at the top of the hour, so we'll reiterate it, that the tornado threat exists, especially under the warned areas, but there is also the threat for high winds to come through, for very strong straight line winds to come through. It sounds like we have a DOT camera shot. This is north of DeForest.
So this looks like I-39, 90, 94 at County V in DeForest. So this is actually, and what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just keep that on the screen for a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on that area just to show you about where it is here. So this is, and again, I can't tell, can you tell which direction that is looking? North. It's looking north. Okay, so right now, if we go back to the radar, we can see that this is the area that, this is right about where that camera is, right here in DeForest, right along I-39. So you're looking northward at this area up here. This is the leading edge of that line of storms farther to the north, and I'll just widen out the radar view here a little bit just to give you a little perspective. That's the area that's under a tornado warning. The area around DeForest right now under a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern edge of that line of storms. So if we look at the wind velocity, for example, we're seeing the strongest winds actually going to be passing to the north of DeForest. Again, there's DeForest. The strong winds are passing over toward Leeds, eventually towards Hampton. So that's the area where, at least where the strongest winds are. New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for northern Green Lake County. That just extends the warning there until 6:45. So again, this is it's a changing situation. These storms continue to intensify, and it's the question is how much they interact with one another. The more they congeal into a line, the better the straight line wind threat is. When you're seeing the more individual cells, especially like to the south and west of Madison, down toward Gratiot, over toward Darlington, those could eventually become a little bit more of a tornado threat with time, because they're moving into an area that hasn't seen any thunderstorms. The air is still very warm, very humid. We've had record high temperatures here in Madison. In fact,
can you pull up temperatures?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put the radar here and then add the temperatures on top of that. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Farther to the west, over toward La Crosse, notice those temperatures have dropped off into the 60s and 70s. The air is cooled. The severe weather threat is ending there. And you can see the National Weather Service actually canceling out the tornado watch out toward the La Crosse area. But farther to the east, Madison, still in the 90s. Janesville, still in the 90s. Temperatures lower to middle 80s, just ahead of the line of storms, but mainly in the upper 80s to lower 90s, farther out ahead of the storm. If you look at the dew point temperatures, an indication how much moisture, the higher the dew point, the more humidity there is. You can see dew points mid to upper 60s, Madison southward, but lower 70s, right where that line of storms is. Now, as that line of storms moves eastward into areas where the dew points are a little bit lower, that may weaken them. And that might be what's happening on the southern end of this line of storms. But then, you can also see Platteville still with a 75 or 76 degree dew point. So, you have warm, moist air that's feeding in from the south into that line of storms. So the straight line wind threat higher to the north of Madison. The tornado threat may eventually become a little more significant to the south of Madison over the next couple of hours. The whole area, though, moving off toward the east, and you can see on future radar, with time, these storms form more into a solid line where the wind damage potential becomes a little bit higher. The tornado threat is a little bit lower, but most of these storms, at least the severe part of the storms, moving east of Madison over towards, say, Watertown, maybe even east of Jefferson by about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So we're just going to have to ride this out. But right now, let's take a look at all the warnings that are currently in effect.
We can get back and look at those warnings right now because we're rapidly approaching 6:15, and I know a few of these warnings have been extended. A few of them are expiring right about 6:15, 6:30.
So we'll start from south to north.
We'll move south to north. That sounds good. Looking at the severe thunderstorm warning, 6:15 again. That's the northwestern portion of Dane County, Meso to Waunakee, stretching into Columbia and Sauk County. So that's set to expire in a few minutes. North of that, this tornado warning until 6:30 for Columbia and Sauk County. Radar indicated rotation, but also seeing that radar indication for very high winds. A tornado warning also for the northern portion of Columbia County. This will be allowed to expire.
Most likely,
Most likely.
because it's being replaced by this warning.
Yes, which extends into Dodge and Green Lake counties and drags up into, again, Marquette and Green Lake counties and goes until 6:45. That's where we've seen that indication for rotation, but also seen that indication for very high winds to come through. Outside of that, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for the same general area surrounding that tornado warning, at least until 6:30. And notice, again, the wording there, the threat, a tornado possible. That's what we've seen a lot of times with these severe thunderstorm warnings because they have the potential for a quick spin up that we might not get on our radar scan, but it's something that could happen quickly and certainly cause significant damage. That goes until 6:30 for that severe thunderstorm warning. Wind speeds with some of these warnings have been close to 60 or 70 miles per hour. We've also seen about an inch for hail, or inch-size hail, so about a quarter-size hail with some of these warnings.
Dana, I'm just going to take a look here to see if we have any new storm reports. And yeah, we're starting to get a few more reports. Yeah.
Sometimes these take a little longer to populate. Sometimes there's a bit more of a delay coming through.
Yeah, so, but you can kind of tell where this line of storms has come through. Again, some of these are wind reports. Some of these may eventually be changed to tornado reports. Are being just reported as wind damage until the Weather Service does a storm survey, which usually takes a couple of days to determine whether or not it's actually been a tornado or high straight line winds. But either way, it really doesn't make much difference, and you need to prepare pretty much the same way for both. We also have had some reports over parts of Grant County farther to the south for some wind damage reports there.
Gary, would you mind going back to radar really quickly? I want to kind of pinpoint. I know
which radar?
Just a general radar scan for Dane County and Rock County, if you don't mind. I know we're not into that area just yet, but it is 6:15. A lot of folks, again, tuning in at the top of the hour for 6. So I just want to recap. The entire area is under a tornado watch. We have tornado warnings to the north. That severe thunderstorm warning in northwestern Dane County has been allowed to expire. However, these storms building in are bringing in heavy rain, the potential for high winds and hail, and the potential. They've had a history of that possible tornado threat building in. So we're starting to see things, it looks like, right along West Middleton. Downtown Madison is still dry. Downtown Janesville and Beloit, you have a little more time, but this is continuing to build east. So we've been talking about this now for the last 2 hours and really for the last few days with this line building in. So we are expecting these strong thunderstorms in downtown Madison. I would give it about another 20 minutes or so before the storms build in. We don't have any warnings right now, but we're going to continue to keep an eye again on downtown and looking along 39 to Janesville and the Beloit area. Still a little bit further down the timeline, but the problem is with these storms at the southern edge right now, they're starting to break up a little bit, and that can lead itself to a more conducive environment to have tornadoes. These spotty areas could produce a higher threat for having tornadoes. Looking to the north, things are in a more organized line, and they have a better chance of bringing in very high winds along that leading line. So to the north right now, we do have 2 tornado warnings in effect. We've switched over to our velocity, and you can see how that lines up with the leading edge of our rain building in. And along that leading edge, we're seeing some really strong winds. That brighter color there, a good indication of high winds building in. Our velocity also gives us a good look if there's possibly any rotation. Our radar signatures a few times have given us a really good look. There's there's nothing really popping out right now for rotation, but absolutely seeing that straight line wind damage coming through, or the possibility for straight line wind damage coming through. Our shear track gives us a good look at possible rotation in those high winds, also just outside of Partyville. This lines up with where the warning is right now, and this is why we've been telling folks within those warned areas to make sure they are inside, because we can see significant damage from straight line winds. It doesn't have to be a tornado on the ground to have that destructive effect to us. So these 2 tornado warnings, including the Lake Wisconsin area and east of Highway 51, so that's Columbia and Sauk counties until 6:30. So about another 10 minutes right now. We're having that high winds again and that hail concern looking a little further north. Columbia, Dodge, Fond du Lac, Green Lake all included in this tornado warning until 6:45. We've had radar indication of rotation, but we've also, as we just looked at, the possibility for very, very high winds coming through the area. And some of the wind reports have been in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range. Hail also a concern. Overall, hail generally at about a quarter size, and that's enough to cause significant damage. We've seen it on our DOT cams. We've also seen it popping up on our radar scans coming through.
And especially with the, I was going to just say, especially with the strong, with the fast move of these storms and the strong straight line winds, quarter-sized hail being blown around by 60 or 70 miles per hour winds are going to cause quite a bit of damage too. So again, these storms that are racing to the northeast at about 50 to almost 60 miles per hour, they're going to be on top of you quickly. So, you know, if you're in, let's say, the northwestern portion of Dodge County under a tornado warning, these storms still are to your south and west. But look at how quickly they're moving, and they will be in your area probably within about the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Just look at this loop right now. Over the last hour, that was a 1 hour long radar loop, and you can see the distance traveled almost from the leading edge of that line completely through the warned area now and continuing to move northeast. So now we're dragging out the travel and the arrival times here for the leading line, because that's where the concern is, to see the high winds in front. So Cambria in about just a few minutes, 6:21. Looking at Cortland by 6:25, Fox Lake once we get after 6:30, Beaver Dam at about 6:43, Chester at 6:46. So quickly moving east, bringing the threat along with it. So as we look downstream, folks do need to be in their safe area. I don't think we've shown that since the top of the hour, Gary, if you wouldn't mind bouncing to that whenever you get a moment.
Yeah, I just want to show one thing too. These are the tracks of the individual thunderstorm cells,
the center,
the strongest areas that are producing some, and it looks like we got a new tornado warning coming out for Green Lake County just as we speak. So let's go over there. And that is this area flashing up here, the far northeastern portion of Green Lake County over toward Berlin. Tornado warning there in effect until 6:45.
That's very small. Do they have confirmation or?
It is right around Berlin, according to the National Weather Service. Let's just do a quick check of the wind velocity here. Yeah. And you can see just to the southwest of Berlin. We'll do a quick scan here. So about 7 miles southwest of Berlin. This storm heading northeastward very rapidly at about 65 miles per hour. So while the warning is in effect until 6:45 for another 20 minutes or 25 minutes, I'm sure this storm, once it passes Berlin, will be out of Green Lake County. But again, tornado warning in effect for the northeastern portion of Green Lake County now until 6:45. And the warning for northern Columbia and far eastern Sauk County has been allowed to expire.
It has been allowed to expire. Yep. Okay, so that again is expiring at 6:30. We're sitting right at 6:21 right now. So our latest tornado warning in the northern portion of Green Lake County, including St. Marie and just outside of Berlin, right along the leading edge here. So what we've been talking about as this line has built east, looking at that leading edge, these downstream warnings have been really lining up with that. So this is just north of Brooklyn along Highway 49, looking just a little further south of that right now. We do have a tornado warning in effect for much of the rest of Green Lake, stretching into Fond du Lac counties, Dodge County and Columbia County included in that. And that goes for about another 25 minutes now until 6:45. The southernmost tornado warning, including Poinet and just outside of Prairie du Sac, that's going to be allowed to expire for us at 6:30. So now we're monitoring these 2 tornado warnings at the northern portion of our area, just outside of Portage and north north of Cambria. We also still have this heavy rainfall and high wind activity building into Dane County. So we looked at this just a few minutes ago.
But no warnings right now.
But no warnings right now. No warnings right now. Tornado watch in effect for us for the rest of southern Wisconsin, but no warnings for us.
Let's just take a look here. This is the very latest. Looks like.
So this is all right along that line still.
Yeah, so the yellow area is the tornado watch. Looks like a severe thunderstorm watch is being issued farther to the south, but the tornado warnings are north of Dane County. So from the southern portion of Columbia County through the northeastern portion of Columbia County, southern portions of Marquette, Green Lake counties, and northwestern Dodge County, and then far northeastern portions of Green Lake County. All of those areas. So basically that is this swath from around Prairie to Sauk, over toward Cambria, Friesland, north and west of Beaver Dam, and then almost all the way up into Fond du Lac County, and then the area around Berlin. Those areas all under tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings around that. But notice to the south, just the tornado watch. We don't have any warnings for Dane County or areas to the south or west yet, but we're continuing to watch that area very closely for any additional development.
We are keeping a close eye on that area as it's the southern portion of this cold front dragging through. It's also seeing these storms breaking apart, weakening a little bit, but definitely breaking apart a bit more. And that does bring a bit of a higher potential to have a tornado threat. There are no warnings right now, but we're absolutely continuing to monitor the area.
It looks like a new warning
southwest.
is coming out now for the southeastern portion of Columbia County.
Oh, okay.
And that is this area right here. As Charlotte hands me the bulletin, this is until 7 p.m. Severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern portions of Columbia County till 7 p.m. For 60-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. Storm 10 miles west of Columbus, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So
this lines up with the tornado warning that's about to expire.
Right.
This lines up with that warning. Again, the tornado warning expiring at 6:20. Now it's being replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning that doesn't discredit, though, the possibility for some pretty significant impacts from the center of this line. We do have the potential, again, Gary's dragging this out to see the leading edge here where we've seen the highest wind rates. Fall River close to 637, Westford by 649, and Beaver Dam still 653. So that leading edge where we've seen the highest wind come through, those are those arrival times. You still have just 10, 15 more minutes to get into your safe place. But the threats here, we've seen wind speeds 60 to 70 miles per hour. The threat for a tornado is still possible, even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning right now. When we have these storms line up and an edge like this and a line like this, it has a better chance
Dana,
of
I'm going to ask
producing
you
a
to
quick
stop
spin-up.
here.
Go ahead.
I think we have, are we going to be tossing to Eric and Susan here?
Yeah, that's right, Gary. We are going to talk to Richard Lee. He is the village president in the town of Oakdale, and that is in Monroe County. If you know that stretch between like Camp Douglas and where the interstate splits, 90 goes to La Crosse, 94 goes up to the Twin Cities. That's kind of in that area that we're really seeing a lot of the damage here. And Richard, Rick Lee, do we have you on the line?
Yeah.
How are you today, sir? Is everything okay there in the village of Oakdale?
It is. It just went south of us about a half a mile, or started south of us about a half a mile, and then went west of the village about a half a mile.
Okay, did you have any damage there in
any
Oakdale?
significant damage or any flooding from the heavy rain?
No, we didn't have flooding or Oakdale itself. There's no damage that we can see, but just on the outskirts of the village, we do have, I think, the interstate at the Y. The last I heard, there were 4 semis that had been laid on their sides, and so they're cleaning that up. The traffic's backed up, especially in the eastbound lane. And then it went through a couple of homes right down the road and across over to a village called Yville. Mm-hmm. And County Double P and Highway 21 and Crescent Road, it hit very heavy in that area. So there's large amounts of power outages and stuff right now. And
Mr. Lee, I understand you actually saw a tornado. I've been told that. Is that true?
Yes, I was on my way to make sure the storm shelter was open and looked off to the west, and it was right there, just going down through. And it just really looked rain wrapped and just heavy rain. So
Have you set up a storm shelter in your community?
we do have a storm shelter in our community.
Were folks using it? I mean, you said you were opening it. Have people gone into that area? I mean, tell us a little bit about Oakdale and what the housing is like there, and hopefully everybody's safe.
Everybody was safe in our village. We are a small community of just 297 people, and we provide the storm shelter in times like this because we do have homes without basements. We have mobile home facilities in town also that need shelter. So I do believe there were a couple of people that went to the shelter. I don't have a number on that right.
I'm sorry, we don't want to interrupt. Now, how is Monroe County? Are you guys all as community leaders kind of teaming together? Are you talking to people up in Toma or Monroe County officials? How are they kind of coordinating a response here?
The state and county work really well in this area. All the law enforcement, fire departments, and everything just band together, and they work in sync and well together. So when it comes to response, we've got great response up in this area.
Is the power on, Rick, in your village?
On the south side of the interstate, it's on. On the north side of the interstate, it is not, and it's out all the way over to Highway 21 and probably past there. So we're on Oakdale Electric, and those trucks are active and rolling. So hopefully they will get the outages taken care of in a timely.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of work to be done there. Is there any message you want us to send out to folks? I'm sure one of them is avoid that area, correct? If you're traveling up from Madison or traveling north into from the north to your area, you want people to kind of stay out of that area, I would assume.
Yeah, the sightseeing, leave that for later on. We've got a lot of emergency service people out there, and they're dealing with situations right now, and traffic is heavy. So if people could avoid it, just so there's not more mishaps or cause injury to our emergency service personnel, that'd be great.
Well, Mr. Lee, we appreciate it. We're glad you're there to serve your community, opening a storm shelter as you witness this tornado. Again, from the village of Oakdale, that's in Monroe County, between Camp Douglas and the Toma area. And
Rick, thank you so much.
We appreciate your time.
Yep, you guys have a good day.
You as
Glad
well.
he is safe.
Now let's join our reporter, Will Cannalte. Will, where are you right now?
So we're up in Sauk City right now. You can see the Wisconsin River behind me. We actually just went through a couple of really nice storm gusts, kind of that front that you could see propagating through Sauk County and into Dane County. We just felt two kind of cells, as it were, of that pass through. A lot of rain, dark skies, obviously, that you can see here. A little bit of wind, nothing that, would necessarily knock anybody down, but enough that you definitely notice. Sideways rain for sure. So clear skies, we can kind of see a little bit out to the west so far. Otherwise things are pretty calm right here in Sauk City. Reporting from Sauk City, Will Cannalte, News 3 Now.
That's a beautiful setting there. Of course, one of my favorite in our viewing area there along the Wisconsin River in Sauk City.
And it's good to hear that things are calming down there. We have reporters fanned out all over the viewing area.
And yet, as you look at radar, it continues to be very busy. We want to get back to our weather team. They've been working tirelessly throughout the afternoon hours. The latest with Dana and Gary.
Exactly. We've been on the air now for 2.5 hours total, and we're continuing to keep an eye on things. As they just mentioned, Sauk City, things looking great. You could hear the birds chirping, but we do still have tornado warnings that we're keeping an eye on. No confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now, but the warning's still in effect for Columbia, Dodge, Fond du Lac, and Green Lake counties until 6:45, so another 15 minutes. This stretches through the Cambria area. We're not seeing, again, that rotation coming through, so not so concerned about something on the ground, but still concerned about high winds and still concerned about that hail threat. So still areas, folks inside this area need to seek shelter. Further to the south right now, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7 now. This is our latest severe thunderstorm warning for Columbia County. The threat there's still a tornado possible, and that's still worth repeating because these severe thunderstorms do have the potential to spin a tornado up really quickly, too quickly to issue a warning, similar to what we saw in Stoughton earlier this year. So this line building in, this is a loop over the last hour, and you can see how quickly this leading edge has just ripped across Columbia County.
60 miles an hour,
Yeah.
the fast movement there.
60 miles per hour for the leading edge, and then those wind gusts in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range at the front edge of this line. So the straight line wind damage could easily be far more significant than some of the smaller tornado damage that could pop up. Straight line winds can come through with the strength of a land hurricane, essentially. Looking at our shear here, this is south of Partyville and north of Rio. The possibility for some rotation, but still seeing that strong wind coming through, Gary, again in Columbia County right now. Hail, the other concern with this, and we mentioned earlier that hail up to a quarter size coming down is one threat. Hail up to a quarter size with 70 mile per hour wind gusts, another threat. So those two combined together, that's what we're looking at for this area. So severe thunderstorm warning right now in Columbia County. Our entire area right now still under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. The southern portion of this line just starting to enter into the Madison area. So if you wouldn't mind, Gary, getting a little closer view at Madison and the heart of Dane County here in just a second, because I know that we're right at 6:30. Folks just tuning in. We don't have any warnings right now for us in Dane County, Rock, Greene County, Iowa County. We're no warnings for the southern portion of our area, but this is built in just in the last hour, and we're starting to see that leading edge get into Middleton, moving through parts right along 18. So Verona right now, just on the edge of this. Downtown Madison, about 5 to 10 more minutes, and then that line will be right over downtown for us. Janesville, Beloit, still a good hour, maybe 45 minutes out. Further to the north, things a little more organized, so more of a concern for straight line winds north of Dane County. Notice quite a bit more lightning also north of Dane County, and that hail signature popping up in Columbia County right now. And that's where we have that severe thunderstorm.
And Dana, I believe
Yes.
we have Tahalil Mouladine in Mauston that will be coming up there. Are we ready for her, or?
If
okay,
we have her,
we
yeah.
have her. So let's turn over to Tahalil in Mauston.
Hey guys, I am actually about a half mile away from the Mauston Hospital, where we've been hearing reports of down trees and down power lines. We can't get any closer because the roads are actually being blocked off, and the police are redirecting traffic right now. But I'm going to step out of the way here so we can get a closer look of what we are able to see. Further down this road, some down power lines. There's actually two sets, officials tell me. The first set is sort of what you're able to see a bit more closely. Trees have blocked out that second set of down power lines, but they've been working on this for a couple hours now, sort of. And to the left of that, what you're able to see on your screen is where the hospital is. We haven't been able to get a good look at it ourselves to see what sort of damage there is at that hospital, but we have been talking to people who have been walking by. They say the damage, what they're able to see, hasn't been too extensive to the hospital itself. Of course, we aren't able to know that for sure right now. Now, officials say they're still trying to assess the level of damage that has extended in this area and other parts of the city, but just even on our way over here, we saw a number of down trees, down power lines, street lights even down, and officials tell me that they're going to be working on this for quite some time.
Tahalil, thank you so much. We do have a warning issue for the area, a severe thunderstorm warning now for Dodge and Fond du Lac counties. So this extending from that one that was going to expire at 7 downstream. Again, that threat for a tornado possible, the same threat for wind speeds at 60 miles per hour, and that same threat for hail up to a quarter size. So this does include Beaver Dam, Mayville, and extending towards Interstate 41. So anyone right along this line, right along Highway 151, really would suggest getting into that safe place right now, because we have had so many reports of trees down, power lines down, semis, tractor trailers getting flipped over. I do want to go ahead and take a live shot right now of, I believe, a Middleton, where, as we just mentioned, the storm, the leading edge of it starting to rumble in. So this is 12 at Parmenter Street. So you can see a lot of water on the roads. The rain right now, it looks like starting to come down and come into the area. So this is in Middleton. It's a good thing to actually not see a lot of folks on the roads right now, to be honest, because this is not something you want to be driving in with the rain coming through, with the wind the way it is. We've seen reduced visibility off to the west, so I would absolutely recommend if you can wait. If you're trying to leave work right now, I would wait, stay a little longer. If you're at home trying to go someplace for the evening, I would wait and stay at home and stay safe. Because staying on the roadways right now, absolutely not recommended, again, due to the visibility. Looking at the rain, this is our WIC CTV Skycam, and visibility just sliced for us currently because of the rain and the wind. You can see the wind blowing too, barely. Again, downtown Madison, usually a much clearer shot at 6:30 in the evening, and not the case. Platteville right now, behind the main line, but still seeing those isolated areas, isolated cells. We have a dark sky and some rain overhead, but things a little clearer at the surface for us, getting a little more clearing for us in parts of Grant County and parts of our southwestern portion of our viewing area, which is good news. That main line along a cold front, not ruling out the potential for a few more isolated showers. That's what we were just looking at in Platteville, and you can see some of those isolated showers still in parts of Richland County and the western edge of Sauk County. But this main line in front of the cold front, that's what's bringing the highest winds, the strongest winds, and that potential for hail and the tornado threat that we've been monitoring. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Dodge and Fond du Lac counties until 7:15. This is our latest warning. A tornado warning still in effect until 6:45. So 6 more minutes at this point. Gary will be keeping an eye on that. Cambria included for Columbia, Dodge, Fond du Lac, and Green Lake counties. And then a severe thunderstorm warning again for Dodge and Fond du Lac counties as we look a little further south to Columbia. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 7 o'clock. The wind threat with this has just really been building in over the afternoon. Looking at that radar loop over the last hour, you can see the line coming in so quickly, about 60 miles per hour.
And you can see those pockets of stronger winds too, like up toward Randolph.
When we look at our velocity, what Gary was just pointing out, that brighter color popping up, that's what gives us a good indication that we're seeing high winds at the surface. Velocity is also what we use to look for that rotation, when we're seeing those reds and green mixing, blowing towards or away from our radar site. Right now, not concerned about that, but absolutely seeing those high winds outside of Cambria.
And just as we speak, the National Weather Service is keeping an eye on the surge heading toward the Beaver Dam area, and that's exactly what's coming out of the Cambria-Friesland area, and will probably pass just north of Beaver Dam over toward Fox Lake. So the northwestern portion of Dodge County should prepare for some very strong straight line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, maybe even a little bit stronger too.
Strong straight line winds, so that coupled with the hail threat and the heavy rainfall coming through, visibility is reduced, and possibly seeing again straight line wind damage with this. That shear track lines up with what we were just looking at for the highest winds and that possibility for rotation. It's really following that same line we were watching earlier south of Partyville. As far as hail track over the last few hours, quarter size hail, up to quarter size hail, still really in line with what we've been talking about throughout this line as it's built in. Throughout the area, we still have a tornado watch in the area. Cambria, there we go. Throughout southern Wisconsin, we still have a tornado watch in effect for us. Again, for areas south of Dane County, we don't have any warnings, but to the north, we do still have warnings. Looking at our future track for the next 3 hours, this line is going to continue to build east, the eastern edge of the state, seeing those showers as we get closer to 10. So that means as we time this out, it's 6:40 right now. We're seeing the edge of the showers just starting to get to the edge of Madison. So once we get closer to about 7:30, 8-ish towards Janesville and Beloit. So still another hour and a half or so before we have those showers really entering into the eastern edge of Rock County. A severe thunderstorm warning right now for Dodge, Fond du Lac counties that goes until 7:15. The wind and hail are primary concerns. A tornado certainly possible, a quick spin up possible. A tornado warning still in effect until 6:45 for Columbia, Dodge, Green Lake, and Fond du Lac counties. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for Columbia County until 7 o'clock. This just south of Rio and towards Fountain Prairie. You can see that heavy rainfall along 16 and Highway 60, and that leading edge bringing in the high winds to our area. Yes.
Let's just take a look at the rainfall amount, see if Rain Vision has updated here, because
it's taking some time to totally populate and pull across.
Yeah, so you can see where the heavier cells have moved. Certainly the one that moved through Columbia County right now. We'll do a quick query on this, and so areas like east of Lone Rock, for example, maybe about 1.5 inches of rain. The fast movement of the thunderstorms is limiting the rainfall potential, but it's rains very hard for at least maybe a 10 to 20 minute period as those storms pass through. So again, you don't want to be out on the roads. The visibility drops off. We've shown a couple of traffic cameras at times when the storms are rolling through, and you see almost near zero visibility. In fact, if we go to our WISC sky cam right now, we had almost near zero visibility before. Let's take a look at this here. And so now you can see how things have improved. But notice the dark building clouds in the background. This view is looking to the southwest. So again, this is that line of storms. We had one burst of rain that moved through, now a little bit of a break, and now the next cell is already lining up to the south and west. Looking at the Platteville Queen Bee radio sky cam, they are at the back edge of the storm, so things are starting to clear out there. And then if we look at the Edgewater sky cam, this is looking to the southeast. So the clouds are actually coming in from behind the camera, and everything looks very dark in downtown Madison, as the main line of storms is just about ready to push in. In fact, if we take a look here at the at Doppler track, you'll see where this line of storms is just moving through the city of Madison right now. No warnings in effect for Dane County as of now, except for now.
Yeah, except for now.
Yeah, except we just have a new warning, severe thunderstorm warning. This is for central Dane County. Severe thunderstorm near Verona moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. So the very fast movement of this storm. Let me grab another radar here so that we'll zoom down to this. This is the new warning, and you can see it covers most of Dane County, including the city of Madison. And I'm going to save this here so that we can come back to it. So this is the new warning, and it takes a minute for the computer to kick in here, but there it is. Severe thunderstorm warning, 7:30, central portions of Dane County. So the storm right around Verona here, heading to the northeast at 70 miles per hour. So that storm is clipping along.
Very fast.
Yeah. So because of the fast movement of the storm, it looks like wind is going to be the main threat there. They're indicating winds of 60 miles per hour, hail perhaps up to the size of pennies as well. If we look at the wind velocities here on the storm, we'll probably see some strong winds. Yeah, look at that little core just to the northeast. There's Verona there's Mount Horeb. So this is right around Mount Vernon, heading to the northeast at about 70 miles per hour. So if you are anywhere, especially the north side of Verona, over toward Middleton, the west side of Madison, be prepared for some strong straight line winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour as that line of storms moves in. If we do a quick storm track on that too, I want to go back to that and just do a very quick storm track. That would take it, again, at 70 miles an hour. You can see where the storm would be over the next 30 minutes. So it moves into Madison by about just before 7, to the airport just before 7, and already in Sun Prairie just a little after 7. So that storm is really clipping along and probably will be producing some strong straight line winds.
It's moving incredibly fast. In that front edge of the rain, just starting to get over downtown Madison. But again, the center of this that we were watching near Verona, this extends through Sun Prairie into the northeast corner of Dane County. This is our storm track. Kind of gives us an indicator where we're keeping the closest eye on the center of this. Notice our impacts here. Flooding, we're keeping an eye on the rain, we're keeping an eye on the hail. The wind impact on a scale of 10.
1 to 10, yeah.
Correct. A scale of 10, a 9.2. Tornado impact at 0. Wind is the concern right now, and straight line wind can absolutely cause significant damage.
We can hear it pouring here at the station.
On the roof right now, yes. So again, you need to be inside within the severe thunderstorm warning area, stretching again from Mauston, Verona, extending all the way up towards Fitchburg. You need to be inside right now. Looking at these different cells popping through, each one of them has the potential to bring these high winds and heavy rainfall and hail threat. That's what we've been watching.
Yeah, they're not always in the greatest location, but I do want to indicate that each one of these shows where the storms will be moving in the next half hour. So you can see how quickly they are moving along. Generally to the northeast at about anywhere from 45 to 60 or even 70 miles per hour. So that means that they cover a long ways over a 30-minute time period. So again, keep that in mind. Even though it may not be raining where you are, you may see dark clouds off to the southwest. That storm is going to be on top of you very quickly.
It is, and that's one of the reasons why that severe thunderstorm warning area, that warning is extended so far out, because things are moving so quickly. Again, just outside of Portland, likely looking dry, likely seeing that dark sky off to the west. But you do need to get into your safe area because 10-15 minutes goes by so quickly. A severe thunderstorm warning right now, just the latest one issued for Dane County until 7:30. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning to the north. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Gary. I believe that tornado warning expired at 6:45. I believe we
let's go back.
If we can go ahead and take a broader look.
We still have the severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Dodge County until 7:15. Yes, the tornado warning for Columbia County has expired. So right now we just have, I don't believe we have any active tornado warnings. In fact, let's just go to the overall.
If we can look at the broader picture. Yeah.
So there are no tornado warnings currently active, but we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, and some of these are high-end severe thunderstorm warnings for straight line winds of about 60 to 70 miles per hour. So the areas under the warning, of course, Dane County, the newest one, that's in effect till 7:30. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, northwestern Dodge County till 7:15. The southeastern portion of Columbia County, that is until 7 o'clock. So that's basically where all the warnings are right now. We do not have any tornado warnings again in effect for the area, although the area is under a tornado watch.
Exactly, we're under a tornado watch still until 10 o'clock, and although we don't have any tornado warnings right now, it's not to dilute any of those severe thunderstorm warnings, because notice again this wording here.
Yeah, yes. And just to let you know, the Beaver Dam Police Department reporting the wind surge coming across the lake right now, and so you can take a look. Beaver Dam is right in the middle there.
That makes sense. It sounds like we have a shot really quickly of Verona Road, and again, significant rain. Folks driving through this right now. Visibility has been reduced. It doesn't look like...
Yeah, it looks like Raymond Road and
Verona Road.
So yeah, rain coming down very hard. And probably getting some strong winds as well.
Strong winds as well. Some good news though, it does look like the power's on, at least. That's always good news to see the stoplights working. A friendly reminder though, of course, with that water on the roadway, always be very, very, very careful, not just because of the winds right now and hydroplaning, but we haven't heard any major reports of flooding, but still a friendly reminder to not drive through any roads that are flooded. If you can't see the bottom of the road, you have no idea if the road's been washed out or not.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little quick cleanup here. So we'll go through those warnings, show where the storms are again. This is Dodge County, and why don't we go back to camera 4 there, and Dana can point this out.
Yeah, we have Dodge County and Fond du Lac County right now. Again, and notice that wording, a tornado possible. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's still that possibility for a quick spin up. That's still something we're monitoring. To the south in Columbia County, a severe thunderstorm warning until 7. Rio included in this. Again, wind speeds at 60 miles per hour and hail included in that. And then in Dane County right now through central Dane County, a severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, Gary?
No, I was checking my watch. It's 10 minutes to 7. I don't know if one of our producers wants to let me know if we're going to keep going on. Also watching some circulations right around.
Switch to velocity.
Okay, what do you want me to do here? So we do have the strong storms moving through the central portion of Dane County. Let's take it back to Susan and Eric.
All right, Gary, thank you. Now, here is some of the video of what we have seen so far. These are shots from the DOT camera. This is in Platteville. Also, we've had some from Camp Douglas as well, and along I-94. This looks like the Platteville tower camera, the DOT cam. That's our tower cam, I believe, in the Platteville area. So this says that you could see a funnel cloud forming as the storm would roll through, but I think that might be referring to this video here along I-94 County PP. This would be up north in the maybe in the Monroe County area.
Gary, you want to say something about
I was going to say, if we can go back to that with my microphone. Very difficult to tell. I don't know if we can go back to the last piece of video that we had there at the beginning of the storm.
I think it's all put together.
Okay. So yeah, it was difficult to tell, but that could have been the beginning of the storm that produced the tornado.
Well, you can see the heavy rain. That has been a big story today, and power outages as well. Right now, more than 22,600 people are without power. That's according to Alliant Energy.
Yeah, 21,197. And these are, we want to mention, we said this earlier, those power outages are just from today. There were some, there were about 1,000 or so that Madison Gas and Electric was still trying to do in the city of Madison from the storms that hit Monday night. They have gone up about 300. So they've seen a few more added today as well. But this is some other damage. We're getting it from the Mauston area. This is along 82.
Yeah, Juneau County was hit very hard earlier this evening.
Yeah, and Monroe County, it tipped over a trailer here. And you can see the roof of a building very badly damaged. The Italian grill there, a lot of damage throughout that area, particularly that corridor. Very familiar with it. Let's go back to Gary for the latest, and Dana on a weather warning.
Yeah, this is a new tornado warning here, and this
is Sun Prairie area and extending northeast. So this just coming in for us right now.
Yeah, so let's get the area here. This is, again, from that line of storms heading through Dane County. It is a pretty large tornado warning area, but this does include Sun Prairie, northeastern portions of Dane County. Tornado warning, possible tornado right around Sun Prairie, moving northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Again, let's take a look at the wind circulation here. And yeah, we are seeing a little bit of wind circulation here, not much, but there is some very strong wind right around the Madison area that's heading to the northeast. I'm just going to move the radar view here just a little bit so you can get a little better idea. So this is the area that's the possible tornado, just southwest of Sun Prairie, but some very strong winds around Madison. Everything heading to the northeast very rapidly at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So tornado warning now in effect, and this is for northeastern portions of Dane County, as well as western Dodge County and the southeastern portion of Columbia County. So that includes the city of Columbus, goes as far north as Beaver Dam, areas just north of Watertown. So that area under a tornado warning now until 7:30 p.m.
So this is our latest warning. We had a brief moment where we were looking at just 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. This latest tornado warning just now dropping in. Again, this is an extension, the very northeastern portion of Dane County, also under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, on top of that, the tornado warning covering that, extending from Sun Prairie all the way up to Beaver Dam until 7:30. So we want to remind folks, we talked about this a bit ago, but it's been a minute. If you are within that warned area, again, stretching up to Beaver Dam and through Columbia, you need to get to the center of your basement now. Now is the time to go because these storms are moving very quickly, 50 to 60 miles per hour. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, things are going to continue to build into your area, and that time's going to go by very quickly. If you don't have a basement, an interior room, or a closet on the lowest level, cover yourself with pillows or cushions or anything to protect you from any debris. And if you are in a mobile home right now, or if you're camping and outdoors and not in a solid structure, you absolutely want to get into something that is preferably brick and stable and anchored to the ground. In a vehicle, get out and get into a sturdy nearby building as an absolute last resort. Get into a ditch or buckle up and get down as low as possible. We've also mentioned that a few times. Now is not the time to be out on the roads. You should be staying at home. If you're in public buildings and you're streaming us on your phone, an inside room away from windows, away from exterior walls, and large stores right now, the small room like a walk-in fridge or a walk-in freezer, a secure space, that's where you want to get into. We have this latest tornado warning, again, extending from Sun Prairie through Beaver Dam, right along the leading edge of this line. It goes until 7:30. We've seen what could possibly be some rotation, a little bit of an indication of rotation, but frankly, the straight line winds near Madison and even along some of these other areas have just been ripping through for us right now as the storm's coming in a line at about 50 to 60 miles per hour, those wind gusts close to 60 miles per hour, and straight line winds can cause just as much damage as a small tornado coming through the area. So again, within this tornado warning, folks do need to seek shelter just along Highway 151 in areas to the east. Outside of that, we also have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Dane County and stretching up into Columbia and Dodge County and further north into Fond du Lac County. So that's something else that we're keeping an eye on. We're going to look at a DOT camera right now. This is Highway 51 near Sun Prairie. Yes, Gary?
No, I was just going to say US 51 near Sun Prairie.
And
We're told that the
All right.
tornado sirens are going off into Forest and Windsor.
the tornado sirens are going off into Forest and Windsor right now for good reason. There's a tornado warning. We need folks to get to their safe place, and again, in that severe thunderstorm warned area, also need to get to a safe place just because a tornado warning might not be exactly in your area if you're under that severe thunderstorm warning. We've had a tornado possible wording with each of those severe thunderstorm warnings popping up. And when we have things organized in a line like this, similar to what Gary was just looking at near Sun Prairie, we might not see a super clear signature for any rotation, but there's the possibility for a quick spin up that we miss with our radar scans. When things are in a tight line, it's hard to get that scan coming through crystal clear.
It looks like some very strong winds coming through Madison right now as we speak. So again, not only is there a tornado threat out towards Sun Prairie, but also the potential there for some strong straight line winds through the Madison metro area, and then eventually heading up toward Sun Prairie as well. So a dual threat from this storm. Much of the rest of Dane County, the central portion of Dane County, under a severe thunderstorm warning. And let me just go back to that here. So that's farther to the west. This is the severe thunderstorm warning. That's in effect until 7:30. But again, this is the tornado warning area just up towards Sun Prairie and just to the north of Marshall that extends up into the southwestern portion of Dodge County.
And it's a dual threat. I know Gary had just mentioned the wind coming through, that can cause damage, but we also have hail concerns right now. Susan, you're nodding. Did somebody ask about the hail threat?
No, we're getting a lot of report, and we appreciate it
Yes.
for everybody letting us know. The sirens are going off in Verona, in Fox Lake, and in Beaver Dam as well.
It's
Yeah,
warning folks
and-
that may not be tuning in, right?
Yeah, and let me just say something really quick about the sirens. The sirens are not the litmus test when it comes to tornadoes. Let's be very clear about that. A siren means that there's something going on, and different communities, different counties have their criteria set. Some counties will alert the sirens for strong straight line winds, others just for tornadoes. Some counties can set the sirens off in certain parts of the counties. So just because the siren is going off, or means that there's something going on around you, so you need to take shelter. Just because the siren isn't going off doesn't necessarily mean that there's no tornado or no threat either. So again, I know people love to say, well, the sirens are going off here, the sirens are going off there. Don't depend on the sirens. That should be the last. The sirens are designed for people who are outside. So,
They're designed for people who are outside. They were designed at a time where we didn't have our windows closed and we had our ACs running and we didn't have methods of getting alerts to the palm of our hand. And that's not a dig on any of the sirens, but it has a different purpose. And again, it is for folks who are usually outside. It's the middle of June. I know a lot of folks trying to camp, to go to the pool, go hiking. Anyone who is outside right now and you are hearing those sirens, it is meant to alert you and warn you. Maybe not specifically there's a tornado in your area, but it is meant to warn you and alert you. And that's why we really preach why you want multiple ways to receive weather alerts. We're bouncing back to a DOT camera. This is
and
the
US
Sun
50,
Prairie.
that might be 151 because US 51 doesn't go through Sun Prairie. So I believe that's US 151 through Sun Prairie. So that's showing the heavy rain.
Oh, this is by the airport.
Yeah. So so that the airport is not by Sun. The airport. Do we know if it's US 51 by the airport or 151 by Sun Prairie? Yeah, I can't tell. You can.
It says US 51. It says
so
at US 51, so at the airport. Right?
Okay, so that would be closer to the airport.
Right.
So,
Right.
Okay.
But still, compared to what we were just looking at a few minutes ago, it's already gotten darker over the airport. And that's what we mean when we're in the course of a few minutes, things can get really dark. Conditions can worsen quite rapidly. And that's why these warnings are being issued so far downstream, because 10, 15 minutes with these type of storms, it just transpires so quickly. Things are moving in so fast. So Madison right now dealing with heavy rainfall. This severe thunderstorm warning extends through downtown Madison, Fitchburg, Verona included in that, and up towards Sun Prairie. But now we also have a tornado warning for Sun Prairie and extending northeast. Here's a live look over Madison right now. This is what we mean. Things can change very quickly. It is dark outside. Visibility is reduced. You can see that heavy rainfall. On the flip side, the south side of Madison with our WIC TV Skycam, you can see a few of those rain spots coming up, some darker skies, but
everything
at the
shifted
surface,
northeast.
Yeah, everything's pulled further northeast, so we have a clearer sky. So there's a big difference depending on what side of town you might be on.
Yeah, so just because it's not raining where you're at, or it just kind of looks dark off in the distance. These storms are clipping along at a very high rate. So, 60 to 70 miles per hour at times. So again, we have that tornado warning in effect until 7:30 for northeastern portions of Dane County around Sun Prairie, and then that includes Columbus and parts of Columbia County, and then into the southwestern portion of Dodge County as far northeast as Beaver Dam because of the fast movement of that storm. Let's do just a very quick storm track on this here, just to give you an idea who's in the path of the storm. And if you're, again, moving this storm from around Sun Prairie to the northeast at, let's say, 60 miles per hour. I think the initial warning had a storm speed of 70 miles per hour. You can see just how quickly that storm would be into Columbus by a little after 7:15, and then eventually up toward Beaver Dam by about 7:30. So that storm is moving along very, very fast.
Moving along and just, again, bringing in the high winds, the heavy rainfall. This light blue that's also popping up for us, that's a hail signature. That's our way of looking at what storms could be producing quarter-size hail. This is another look at our hail track. So as it's building in, the light blue quarter-sized hail over the last 2 hours, and we've seen it pop up on our DOT, so it's been confirmed. Hail, again, up to a quarter size, possibly just a little bit smaller, but when you factor it in with the high wind gusts, quarter-size hail can cause significant damage on its own, but with 60-mile-per-hour winds, then it becomes much more of an issue as it's building through. So hail, heavy rain, and high winds, this is all right along that line, just outside of that tornado warned area, but also it looks like north of Madison right now, just outside of Sun Prairie, we're seeing that hail signature. So a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for downtown Madison. It looks like areas towards Mount Horeb have been trimmed out of that. This extends, though, to the northeast corner of our county. A considerable threat for us to deal with the
just
severe
go
weather
back and
impacts.
forth between the two here. So we have the tornado warning for northeastern portions of Dane County, and then a severe thunderstorm warning for central and the rest of northeastern Dane County. That does include the city of Madison, and that is for straight line winds to 70 miles per hour. Notice the severe thunderstorm warning blinking a little faster here. That's an indication to us that the storm is starting to ramp up in intensity. And just as we were talking about before, with the strong straight line winds, again, this pocket of winds looks like it has gone through Madison. The airport is located right over here, just off of US 51. So the strong winds will be going through the airport area and then up towards Sun Prairie. The tornado threat, if it still exists, looks like it's just east of Sun Prairie, between Sun Prairie and Waterloo, heading to the northeast. Not a very strong wind circulation there. I'll look at another wind velocity product here just to give us a little better idea. Yeah, again, not much in the way of a wind circulation there, but these pockets of strong winds are moving through the city of Madison right now and probably causing some wind damage, maybe very similar to what happened on Monday. So again, another strong thunderstorm cell zipping on through and bringing the potential for strong straight line winds through the city of Madison, and especially areas to the northeast up towards Sun Prairie, and then eventually into Dodge County. So again, a little wider radar perspective. That's where the warnings are in effect. Severe thunderstorm warning central Dane County, tornado warning northeastern Dane County, southeastern Columbia, southwestern Dodge County, and then a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern portion of Dodge County. Everything kind of all in a line there.
Now that we've taken a look at that broader picture, can we take a little closer look, Gary, at the tornado warned area? Again, Sun Prairie now at the base of this. Just a few minutes ago, this was the start of the line. You can see how quickly things have moved just in the last 10 minutes. We've got brighter spots here outside of Columbus and just along 151. That's where we're likely seeing some higher winds. Doesn't look like there's a good rotation signature for us right now, but the straight line wind threat is still quite high. So this really is traveling right along 151, again, right through Columbus with this warned area. If we travel just a little further north, you go towards Beaver Dam. This area also seeing some higher winds for us.
Yeah,
again,
they've already gone through
Dam.
Beaver Dam. The police department reported the winds heading through the city of Beaver Dam a few minutes ago. So again, everything is kind of along the front edge of that line of storms. So that was the wind velocity. This is the actual rainfall or reflectivity, and you can see the storm is basically extending in a line from Beaver Dam to the city of Madison, and then also a narrow line of storms heading to the southwest through Fitchburg, looks like through about New Glarus, down toward Monroe, And then to the west, everything really starting to wind down pretty quickly. Maybe a cell over toward Platteville, trying to see if there's any, not even much lightning left in that cell by Platteville. But one thing we look at with lightning, if lightning is getting more intense or if it's starting to die down, that gives us a little bit of an indication if the storm is weakening or getting stronger. You can see definitely more and more lightning flashes as the storm passed through the city of Madison, whereas that cell out toward Platteville, starting to see less and less lightning as that storm starts to weaken a little bit.
That Platteville storm's fallen apart quite a bit, but even south of Madison right now. So I know we've been talking about a lot to the north, but areas to the south, looking at Greene County, looking at Monroe, we're starting to see that heavier rainfall mix into the area. Still dry in Janesville and Beloit. This is mainly for Madison and areas north right now with our warnings in effect. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for Madison, but this is temperatures, Gary?
Yeah, and it looks like the cold front is really catching up to the line of storms. When the storms started to develop earlier this afternoon, they were out ahead of the line, right ahead of the cold front. But now you can see definitely as the line of storms heads off to the east, those temperatures drop off by a good 10 to almost 20 degrees. Janesville still at 91. Temperatures are in the 60s out toward La Crosse. So that's a pretty significant drop in temperatures. If we look at the dew point temperatures, just again to see how these storms are going to react over the next couple of hours. Dew points now are highest like through the Madison area. They're still fairly high out to the west, but they're going to start dropping as the dry area moves in from the La Crosse area. So these storms, as they head into an area where the dew points are starting to increase a little bit, that's why they're still maintaining their strength up toward Beaver Dam, toward the Fox Valley. So again, that's just kind of what we're expecting to see happen over the next couple of hours. In the short term, it's at least some tornado threat, mainly over, I would say, southeastern portions of Columbia County and southwestern Dodge County. I think the tornado threat might be a little bit less over Dane County. But again, in a situation like this, it's very hard to tell for sure because tornadoes that form along a line of storms can spin up very quickly and then die down very quickly and cause damage over a couple minute period, and they're not really detected by the radar scan as it goes through. But we are definitely seeing these pockets of stronger winds that are moving on through. So even if there's not a tornado, the high wind threat is still going to be there, and it extends again from Beaver Dam to Columbus, basically right along US 151 through the Madison area. But notice to the southwest now things are starting to settle down out toward Verona, out toward Mount Horeb. So it looks like right now the highest severe weather threat I would say would be between Madison and Beaver Dam, heading to the northeast.
Heading northeast and really lining up right along 151 for us. That's where we're seeing the high winds coming through and also that hail concern. So it really lines up with where the tornado warning is issued in Columbia, Dodge, and Dane counties. This goes until 7:30. We're talking about the potential for very high winds, not ruling out the chance for a quick spin up. So anyone within this area does need to be inside and seek shelter. Coming along with heavy rainfall also.
Yeah,
so when you factor in the rain and the wind, visibility.
I was just going to say, tornado spotted on 151 southwest of Sun Prairie, according to emergency management. So
that would
be right in this area here.
When was this?
This is just coming through from emergency management, monitoring it here. Again,
it's on the air right now.
That's the DOT traffic camera. 151. Do we know? Is this in Sun Prairie? Okay,
yes.
So this is
90.
This is right at East Washington Avenue and 151, right at the interstate there. So
technically, just right outside of.
Yeah, Sun Prairie is farther.
It's further north.
To the northeast. I don't know if we can call up a DOT camera if we have anything available on 151. So okay, we don't there. So.
No, but can we switch over to velocity at all, Gary, or debris, and see if there's a different signature that might pop up with this? Doesn't look like anything. No, and our debris signature. Looking at below, well, could see some really high winds there.
Yeah. So again, this may not be a tornado. Again, but it is definitely, we're seeing some strong winds there.
That brighter color there. Again, when we see more red and green blending, that's a better sign for rotation. Charlotte DeLeste showing up with another.
New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for northern Jefferson and looks like much of the rest of Dodge County until 8 p.m. So that is
So that's
again,
an extension.
just south of that tornado warning area. So that's for the activity coming out of Madison that'll be moving through areas north of Lake Mills, north of Johnson Creek, over toward Watertown. That area now under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 p.m. Again, tornado possible because of the activity in the Madison area, but this would be more of a straight line wind event with the possibility for some brief tornado spin-ups along the line of storms as it moves into Dodge and Jefferson counties. But we still have the tornado warning for Dane County and as well as parts of Dodge County and far southeastern portions of Columbia County, and that is in effect until 7:30 p.m.
And when we talk about these brief spin-ups, it's not to, again, minimize any of the damage, but it's very similar to what we had in Stoughton earlier this year, where these storms form along a line. We don't quite see the spin-up signature on our radar, so there's not a warning issued. And what the National Weather Service in Milwaukee is doing here is being proactive and issuing things in front of this line and including that warning label, that tornado possible label in the threat. It's going to be one of those where something could spin up very quickly that we don't quite get a clear picture of enough time to actually issue a warning for that area. Looking at our rain vision gives us a pretty good indicator of where some of the heaviest rainfall is. It's populating in. It's a little bit of a delay behind the rain as it builds in. We do now have a flood advisory, it looks like, for Madison, downtown Madison, which tends to be a little more prone to flooding in these higher rain events, an aerial flood advisory until 10:15. So that means those areas that, again, are tend to flood, are prone to flooding, poor drainage, lower lying roads, some of our rural roads. This, again, extending through Mount Horeb up through Sun Prairie, much of the heart of Dane County, where we do tend to see a little bit more flooding that goes until 10:15. So keep that in mind. Not only are we talking about reduced visibility because of the rain and the wind, we're also talking about that concern for some flooding in spots. Do not drive over any roadways that are water covered. If you cannot see the bottom of the road, you cannot guarantee that the road hasn't been washed out because of the high rain coming through. So just be careful, be cautious on the roads. Later this evening, we're not encouraging anybody to get out on the roads right now as we're still looking at this high wind threat, and we frankly still have warnings in place for Madison, Dane County, and areas northeast. So looking at our velocity right now, this area outside of Sun Prairie that we've been keeping a close eye on, that little spot there, that brighter color, a good indication that we are seeing some higher winds coming through. When we see our red and green mixing, that's a good indication of rotation, but this brighter spot, likely some very strong wind gusts, and straight line winds can still cause significant damage. So this area just south of Sun Prairie, right along 151. We did hear some reports south of Sun Prairie of possibly seeing a tornado near 151. But not quite confirmed on that location or timing, but we're definitely seeing some high winds in that area with that velocity popping up like that in that brighter shade. Looking up towards Columbus right now and into Beaver Dam, there are a few lighter areas. I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing some stronger wind gusts, but not seeing quite as bright as what we're seeing there in Sun Prairie. So that's a good indication, again, of seeing those stronger winds coming through with our velocity. We're also looking at that hail concern for our area and the heavier rainfall along with this threat. So that's why these warnings are in place. It's multiple threats in for us right now. It's not just one issue that we're keeping an eye on. That tornado warning area extends from Sun Prairie through Columbus and up towards Beaver Dam. So anyone along that line does need to seek shelter right now because we have the potential for quick spin-ups that don't quite trigger are enough on our radar, don't give us the opportunity to see that signature really come through on our radar. But we also have the potential for that straight line wind damage to come through, and that wind damage can absolutely be as destructive as a weaker tornado. So please, within that warning, you need to seek shelter and getting to that most interior room. The basement would be the best option, but if it's not an option, again, away from exterior wind walls and any windows. Bouncing back to our radar right now, this moving very quickly. The center of this just about 15 minutes ago was near Sun Prairie, and now you can see this extended past Columbus, the front of this past Columbus now, the front of this past Beaver Dam. Our tornado warning goes for 15 more minutes. This is until 7:30, including Dane County, Columbia County, and Dodge County. The concern is straight line winds and a possible quick spin up for a tornado, but also Notice hail has been a big part of this conversation for the last several hours. We've had hail reports close to a quarter size, but with that hail, you got to remember with straight line winds, hail blowing around with 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts can cause significant damage. So we have this tornado warning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning outside of this through Jefferson and Dodge County. So north of Lake Mills, north of the interstate, that goes until 8 p.m. Wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour. Hail still up to a quarter size. And we still have that wording for a tornado possible as a threat because those quick spin ups are still possible. That severe thunderstorm warning for Dane County is also in effect for us just outside of the tornado warning. So Cottage Grove right now, right on the leading edge of this line. This is going to continue to build east, and that's why we have this downstream warning in Columbia, or in Dodge and Jefferson counties, excuse me. Downtown Madison, a little bit of good news. It does look like that heavier rainfall is pulling through, but as I just mentioned, Stoughton and Cottage Grove right on the leading edge right now, and that's going to continue to pull east. So I think that means that parts of Rock County will be dealing with that heavier rainfall building in here pretty soon as well. This heavy rain extends right along 151. The tornado warning really extends right along 151 from Sun Prairie through Columbus and through Beaver Dam. Looking over the last hour, this is a radar loop over the last hour for us, and this is moving through quite quickly. That's part of the reason why we've been really pushing for folks to get to their safe spot as quickly as possible, because things are moving very quickly with this line. We do have a tornado watch in effect still until 10 o'clock throughout the area, because as this line builds through, the leading edge has been bringing the highest winds, but we do still have a few isolated cells behind it popping up. Still things that we're just going to keep an eye on as they move through. Our future track over the next 3 hours continues to drag this off to the east. And notice as it pulls away, you can see those cells still popping up behind the leading edge and still pulling off to the east. And some of those cells, when they're broken up like that, they can have a bigger threat for producing a tornado. So our tornado warning still in effect for Dane, Dodge, and Columbia counties until 7:30. Our hail, a concern with that, and also the concern, you can see that blue popping up. Our hail signature, a concern, and also the concern for some high winds. Not seeing any concern for rotation right now.
I'll give you a little bit of a break there if you want to grab some water.
You found new water.
Yeah, there you go. So basically what we're dealing with here is mainly strong straight line winds from around Sun Prairie, south and east of Highway 151, up toward the Beaver Dam area. This is on the front edge of that line of storms as it heads off to the east. Now, if we take a look at the radar loop here, you can see just how quickly the individual cells are heading northeast. The whole line is heading eastward at about maybe 40 miles per hour. The individual cells are heading to the northeast at about looks like about 50 miles per hour. I'm just seeing here, looks like the part of Dane County has been taken out of the tornado warning. So the tornado warning now has been cut back to the far southeastern portion of Columbia County, right around the city of Columbus, and then northeastward into the southern portion of Dodge County, south of Beaver Dam, over toward Lowell, and eventually as far east as Houston'sford. So that's an area that's still under a tornado warning. You do need to be in a safe place. Also, the potential for hail up to the size of larger than quarters, an inch, 1.25 inches there. So again, the possibility not only exists for tornadoes, but also for strong straight line winds, as well as the possibility for some hail too. So we've got that, and then farther to the south and west, looks like we still have the severe thunderstorm warning, and this is for much of the central portion of Dane County. Let's see if the Weather Service has cut back any of that. It still covers most of Dane County, although right now the heaviest rain, the most likely area of strong winds extends from Sun Prairie down towards Cottage Grove. Farther to the west, Verona now out of the severe thunderstorm warning, still includes the city of Madison. So again, basically from Madison to the north and east, that's the area right now that are under warnings. Tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings. Severe thunderstorm warning, Dane County. Tornado warning for Dodge County. Severe thunderstorm warning, eastern and southern Dodge County, northern portions of Jefferson County. Everything north of I-94 heading into Dodge and northern portions of Jefferson County.
And you can see that line extending right now, Gary, through Dane County. I was just checking in with some of our comments on Facebook and other streaming options. things seem to really be calming down for Madison, downtown Madison. The main line is through downtown Madison, but we are still keeping an eye on Cottage Grove and Stoughton. They're right along that main line right now, and that really lines up with, again, what we've been keeping an eye on with our velocity here. And we're still seeing some higher winds along that line just outside of Beaver Dam, and extending north for us into parts of Columbia and Dodge County. So that heavier rainfall is moving through. So this area still under a tornado warning for parts of Columbia and Dodge County. Dane County out of that, but we have that severe thunderstorm warning for the rest of Dane County and for parts of Jefferson County and into Dodge County right now. So a broader look, we'll take back the radar and look at where our warnings, our watches and warnings are currently. We have a tornado watch still in effect for us throughout southern Wisconsin until 10 p.m. tonight. That's that bright yellow color. Our tornado warning right now until 7:30, so about 10 more minutes for Columbia and Dodge County. The primary concern is still a quick spin up or the straight line winds that have been coming through. Again, that tornado warning extending for Columbia and Dodge. We also have the severe thunderstorm warning for the northern portion of Jefferson County and for Dodge County until 8 p.m. Still have a tornado possible, but the primary concern is certainly the wind up to 60 miles per hour and the severe thunderstorm warning from downtown Madison and stretching northeast in Dane County. That goes until 7:30. Again, considerable threat from wind, and also the considerable threat could see hail up to that quarter size. Wind speeds up to 70 miles per hour for us in Dane County, right along the leading edge. We do want to take a bigger look at this line as it's built in. This is a loop now for 3 hours. So that's really over the course of how long we've been on the air as this line has pushed through, triggering several tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings. It has been quite a wicked line. Part of the reason is because it's been so hot and humid outside.
3 hours. You need
I'm
some
good.
water.
I'm good.
Yeah, we've got one down here.
We've got
too.
water. We've got another one? Or?
No. We've got a water.
Oh,
for
we got
you,
another
so.
water. Yes.
No, and I just, Dana had mentioned that line of storms, and we've talked about this a couple of times already this evening. Now with the storms more or less forming along a solid line, the tornado threat goes down a little bit. The wind damage potential goes up a bit. So again, right now, the main area of concern stretches from Dodge County through the city of Madison and into the northern portions of Jefferson County. Southern portion of the line of storms trying to get together. It just really hasn't had a lot of success so far. It is forming a solid line of storms, starting to see a little more lightning farther south. And again, the more lightning you see, the more intense the storm is. So as the storm, notice as it got into Madison, the lightning starts to ramp up. That's when we started to see the storms really start to get more intense in Dane County up into Dodge County. Farther to the south, we're not seeing as much lightning down toward Monroe, for example, on the southern end of this line of storms. So again, hopefully that's a little good news. Maybe the tornado threat going down a little bit, but the wind potential still remains fairly high. If we look at future radar over the next 3 hours, again, the future radar showing pretty much a line of storms. And the other thing too to notice how this kind of bows out here. And this is perhaps a gust front moving through Milwaukee and maybe through parts of Rock and Walworth County over the next couple of hours. But this takes us all the way through about 10:30, and you can see by that time the severe weather threat pretty much by that time will be out into Lake Michigan and down into Racine and Kenosha County. So the severe weather threat hopefully will be lessening over the next maybe a couple of hours here. So.
But we do still have, again, those 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect and the tornado warning still in effect until 7:30. So just a little longer, but something we're going to continue to keep an eye on in Columbia and Dodge counties, and right along 151 and
Dana,
heading south.
I'm just seeing something from the National Weather Service. The tornado warning is probably going to be allowed to expire at 7:30 because, and the reason for that is because the storms are now getting behind what's called the outflow boundary. So if we look at the wind velocity here, what we're seeing is, the tornado threat was in Sun Prairie and heading this way. Well, look where the winds are now. They're down to the south. They've already moved into the far southern portions of Dodge County, ready to move into the northern portions of Jefferson County, north of Lake Mills, north of Johnson Creek, basically north of I-94. So again, the wind potential appears to be increasing a little bit over southern portions of Dodge County and the northern portions of Jefferson County. The tornado threat is probably lessening as that main cell that went through Sun Prairie that prompted the issuance of the tornado tornado warning heads to the north and east. Farther to the south and west, we're not seeing any wind circulation there, but we are seeing the potential for some strong straight line winds.
The potential for some strong straight line winds, and still seeing that heavy rain also, which means reduced visibility when you're factoring that heavy rainfall and the high winds. And that's been coming up on our DOT cameras a few times now. If we wouldn't mind just taking a bigger look, exactly what I was thinking. It looks like some of the tornado watch counties have been trimmed out too, which is good news. Again, this line passing through for us right now over the last several hours, things clearing out, it looks like, for western Dane County, Middleton, downtown Madison. We're starting to see that line enter into the edge of Rock County, so Janesville and Beloit. That line will be moving closer to you as we get closer about in the next 20 minutes or so. A lot of this heavier rainfall and the wind potential north of Dane County. And this is going to be the scene as we look ahead to the next 3 hours. Things pulling off to the east. We could still see some isolated thunderstorms on the back end, but much of that main threat with the higher winds pulling off to the east right now. So a quick recap, this tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. We do still have
as of now.
As of now,
yeah,
of course. Things have been transpiring and switching every 30 seconds or so.
And I should say too, if you look at the radar here, it is kind of interesting because we might be seeing more of a wind increase in potential here. Notice how this is starting to bow out a little bit. So again, that area right around Watertown, north of Lake Mills, north of Johnson Creek, you may be seeing the potential for winds to really increase over the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So this is an area to watch for the potential for strong straight line winds. The tornado threat, again, lessening. The National Weather Service thinking that they will probably allow the warning to expire if nothing else changes.
Still something we're going to stick with for the time being and continue to monitor as long as that warning is still in effect. We have that tornado warning. Again, you can see those areas where we're likely seeing higher winds. And we also have the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings extending beyond that. That bow that Gary was just pointing out right there outside of Watertown, pulling out a little bit more, and the driving edge in front of those stronger winds near Waterloo, just pushing out and bowing out.
Dana, let's just give a quick recap of what we have going on here. Very quickly. First of all, we have the current watches and warnings in effect. I'm just going to widen out here to
if you could take
to show our viewing area. Whoops, get this out here. There we go.
The brighter color there, again, this bright yellow, that's that tornado watch, but you can see.
And you notice that has already been canceled,
Yeah, our western counties have already been pulled out of that watch. So again, that goes until 10 o'clock. We still have this severe thunderstorm or tornado warning. We'll start with that, I guess. Columbia and Dodge County for just a few more minutes, but it sounds like the National Weather Service is going to allow that to expire. We'll stay with this until we get through 7:30, though. Looking outside of that warning, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 for the northern portion of Jefferson County and for Dodge County. Again, the threat there, the high winds, and not ruling out the potential for an isolated tornado. Also a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30. So just a few more minutes with wind speeds up to 70 miles per hour. It's been a very windy afternoon, and we have the aerial flood advisory for downtown Madison and extends up towards Sun Prairie. Really means the areas that are prone to flooding, those that don't get the greatest drainage, or the lower lying areas, we do have the possibility to see flooding later on. That goes until 10:15 because we had that heavier rainfall come through so quickly earlier today in Madison. So that's a quick look at all of our watches and warnings. This line right now, again, just driving through our area right along a cold front. In front of that this afternoon, we had temperatures in the mid to low 90s. So the storm activity just moving into a hot and warm environment. Now we're watching things cool down a bit more behind that front, but we're still keeping a close eye on the leading edge of this because we still have the potential to see some really high winds for parts of southeastern Dane County now into parts of Jefferson and Dodge County, and Rock County still on the southern edge. Not as much of a wind threat, but still having thunderstorms building into the area. Gary?
Yeah, I would say, Dana, probably over the next hour or so, the greatest severe weather threat is going to be over Rock County, Jefferson County, where the rain hasn't started yet, and maybe the southern portion of Dodge County. Dane County starting to wind down. The storm still moving through the eastern portion of Dane County, probably producing some heavy rain, maybe some wind. But right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's set to expire for much of central and northeastern Dane County. So we'll see if that gets allowed to expire. Farther to the south, it's possible we could see some additional severe warnings for the southern line of the storms as it moves into Rock and Jefferson counties. Right now, those storms have stayed below severe limits. So at this point, I think what we're going to do, I don't know if we want to go back to programming at this point. We're going to go back to programming. Thank you for bearing with us for the last 3.5 hours of severe weather coverage. But Dana, great job in front of the wall there.
Thank you for driving radar.
Yeah, and so it's just one of those situations where we had to be on the air because we had numerous tornado warnings and unfortunately some damage that was caused. But we'll be going back to programming and we'll jump back in if necessary down the line.